So first of all, just apologise for the delay in starting the programme. That is, of course, because Boris is live and half the nation, well, probably more than half the nation are tuned into that right now. But coming your way tonight, we have the premiere of a new pilot programme called Beyond Explained, okay? And it features Spectrum Paranormal Investigations, who have been in the paranormal investigation business for 26 years. So it was about time that they got their own show and got to show you guys at home what they do. They are on a quest to find evidence of the afterlife, okay? And it's nothing like a screen show or anything like that. They are there to prove, or find proof, that there is something there. So, we'll have all that coming your way very soon. I've got my phone on me, so I'd like to be seeing all of your comments coming through, okay? If you're excited for the programme, great. And if you share the link to the programme, or if you comment on our Facebook stream that's going on right now, you will be entered into a draw to win a chance to join Spectrum Paranormal Investigations on an investigation, okay? So you will win that opportunity if you share this post, okay? Try and get that circulating around the net. It's a great programme and we're all looking very much forward to it. We've also got music from the band Francis. Looking forward to that as well. Great band. We've got 2 original songs for you. And the Cauldron Cocktail Experience will be making some cocktails for us, so you'll be able to see some of the magical cocktails they make there. So lots of exciting things on the way. I'm just going to have a little look and see if there are any comments on the stream so far. Been told there's actually there's no audio at the moment, so if there's any audio, if anyone's commenting and the sound is echoing, so I think we can fix that. Okay, that's what this is all about. Just we're getting the stream underway, so you guys at home can enjoy the evening. We've got Lucid Dream Pictures, they've tuned in, and Barbara Casey. Hello, Barbara. Okay, so the reason we did this is because we wanted to bring you that Halloween fun on a year where Halloween is a bit different to what it normally has been. So lots of cool things ahead of us this evening. We've got live music, we've got cocktails being made, and most importantly, Beyond Explained, our Halloween programme, will be premiering later on in the show. I'm just going to keep looking through your comments. Remember, if you share, you will get the opportunity to be entered into a draw to win the opportunity to join Spectrum Paranormal Investigations on a real life investigation. Okay. Let's see what's coming through. Ah, brilliant. Barbara, you put a thumbs up to ghosts. Does that mean that the echoing has stopped? Oh, there we go. My brother Oliver's tuned in. Hello, Oliver. Okay, if anyone watching can just let me know if my voice is still echoing or not, that would be great. Okay, the echo is still there. Still there, the echo. Okay, I can see you're all starting to tune in. Great. See, another thing you can do is if you have had any paranormal experiences that we can talk about now on the show, so feel free to put anything in the comments. Okay. So, if you've just joined us, it's not going to be this boring for the whole show. There's lots of exciting things coming your way. We're just we're getting fully set up and ready to go. You've joined us for our Halloween Spooktacular, where we will be bringing you all of the Halloween fun from our studio in Stevenage Town Centre Square to your laptop, phone, any device that you might use. And I've been asking if you've had a paranormal experience at all to let me know in the comments. Okay? We're just sorting out a few final things and then we will be ready to go. Okay. Somebody just said that's better. Is that better? Has the echo stopped? Just confirm that in the comments for me. Thank you, Lucid Dream Pictures. There we go. I'll keep rambling on. Okay, so remember, if you share this video, you will be entered into a draw to win the chance to join Spectrum Paranormal Investigations on an investigation. Probably after a lockdown. But we will arrange that for you guys. So make sure you share. Oh, we're better. That's good. That's good. Thank you, Barbara, for letting me know that we're now better. So I think that means it can only be right if we kick this show off. So welcome to SG1 Media Centre in Stevenage Town Centre Square. My name is Will Hextall and you've joined us for a very special Halloween Spooktacular. First for us here at SG1. For those of you that don't know, SG1 Media Centre consists of two platforms at the moment. We've got the radio, where you can tune in online at sg1live.co.uk, but also now we're branching out into the visual and the production side. So you'll get a chance to see the first ever SG1 production tonight as we stream the pilot episode of Beyond Explained. Okay, it's a great show and it was filmed at the Cromwell Hotel in High Street, Stevenage, a place I'm sure many of you have actually visited yourself or maybe even stayed. It's a great location, so we'll be hearing from everyone involved a little bit later in the show. But first, I'm going to be talking to two of our most popular presenters, Slava and Trev, who present the show. Slava's Pick a Mix with a bloke called Trev. Let's welcome Slava and Trev. Hello. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us this Halloween and giving up probably lots of tricks and treats to be here. So tell me first of all a little bit about your show. You're veterans here.
Yeah, we're old, yeah.
I didn't mean that. You're seasoned professionals, of course.
Tell about that.
So tell us, obviously you've been with SG1 from more or less the start of the journey.
Well, Slava has. I joined later on.
You joined later on. So Slava, tell us how has SG1 developed and
Oh my word! Oh gosh, how much time have you got? Oh. So this is our third studio. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, it's our third studio. Looking at the boss over there.
Yeah.
He did start off in a bedroom, I believe, and then he went to studio. So I joined when he was in the first studio, which was at the other end of Stevenage in the fire station, in the big building that's now flats. Yeah, so it started off as a fairly small station, I suppose, and it's just grown and grown and grown. Now we're in this wonderful place here with our sort of audio studio, so the radio studio there, then of course we've got the rest of the media
absolutely, and it's just wonderful, isn't it, to have this space now, which is right in the middle of Town Centre Square.
Yeah.
And while we're at it, we might as well mention that if there is anybody out and about or trick-or-treating in the neighbourhood, you know, you can walk up into the plaza and give us a wave through the window and we'll wave back at you. Okay, that could be an experiment.
That could be actually scary because it's dark out there, and then if someone sticks their head, a face appears on there. It might be
and
a bit,
if anyone's wearing a Scream costume,
Oh,
I'm
no.
out of here, I'll tell you that. In fact, we do have some rather large knives back there because we were carving pumpkins. So
That's a bit worrying, isn't it?
it is. So you present the show, Slava's Pick and Mix.
With a bloke called Trev.
Yeah, with a bloke called Trev. And speaking of Pick and Mix, let's divvy out some lollies, I think. So there's a lolly for you. I'll social distance throw them. I should mention Slava and Trev are in the same bubble as well.
Same household, yeah.
Yes, so divvying out the treats nice and early. And tonight you will be doing some very very scary and frightful Halloween challenges. Okay, so we've got a couple of little challenges lined up for you. We're going to ease you in nice and gently, and then things are going to get a bit more serious. So so a bit of Halloween fun there, some tricks and some treats.
And we have absolutely no idea what these are, have we?
No, they're a complete mystery.
We guessed one. It's sat there.
Well, there is one which is
that's the easy lead-in one.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a bog standard Halloween staple game, really, isn't it? So so we'll hear a bit more about that later on in the show. But first, I also wanted you to become familiar with these little babies, which are Toxic Waste sweets. I don't know if you've ever sampled any of those.
I have sampled.
You have sampled.
One,
What was your experience like, Trev, with these? Not so good. Well, we're gonna. The good news is we're now going to sample. I might
do you
it
sample
too.
as well?
I'll sample as well, just so I'm not being too rude. So there's a sample there for you, and I'm gonna pop one in my mouth as well. And I think this is a great bit of the show because you'll get to see our faces.
Do we all do it together? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we'll do it together. I'm wrapping up when I get the packet off. There we go. So, ready?
Ready? 3.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, and? I think.
Don't think you've come to it yet.
I think it's in the middle.
In the middle. Oh, I'm starting to get that now.
Ooh. That is clever.
Very sour, yeah.
It is quite sour. I can't really speak and present at the same time.
That's not bad.
But
Put it in your cheek, and then you can talk.
yeah, good tip. So we will be doing the Halloween challenges throughout the night, if I can speak, and so our forfeit for the loser each round will be to consume a Toxic Waste sweet.
I don't think I'll be able to feel my mouth at the end if I keep losing.
They're actually quite nice.
Oh no, we'll have to find.
Then you need to lose every single challenge.
If anyone has anything stronger at home, feel free to drop it down to the studio and we'll try that on Trev.
It doesn't do what it says on the tin.
No, Toxic. So, tell us about your show on SG1 Radio.
Right, so our show's live from 4 to 6 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon, evening, I suppose. Depends when you define evening. It's drive time. hump day, drive time. And it's called a pick and mix, so it's exactly that. So we do anything, we play all kinds of music, all different genres. We have guests in the studio, we have a lot of local guests come in, business, charity, musicians. We've had musicians play live in the studio. And we really love to try, I suppose our show's aimed very much at the community. If we can, as much as we can, and sort of showcasing new artists, that kind of thing too. Yeah,
it's brilliant, and especially for drawing people together and you know, and getting local names, local businesses out there, and of course, so many local businesses have. They've really taken a hit this year.
Absolutely,
and I think your show has certainly played a part in sort of building them back up again and getting them on their feet. So I think that's kind of what you're going for there, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's also a bit mad because we quite often have a problem of some sort during the show. Actually, it's not been too bad the last for quite a while now, has it?
Notice that Ray's not been in recently, and it's been
I know, yeah, it's true, yeah.
I'll tell you this, I think Ray may have a curse, a Halloween curse, and this is, well, I'll tell you, obviously Ray and I were together when we were filming the Beyond Explained pilot, which will be premiered later on in the show, and so we were filming in the Hotel Cromwell as part of a paranormal investigation, and I won't spoil it for you, but a few spooky things do happen, and since we've actually done that filming, coming back to the studio, a few strange things have been happening, specifically when we've been here on our own.
So Ray's brought it back with him. You know what? I'm really interested. I'm really interested to see this because as a child growing up, or actually a teenager, I was really into parapsychology, and since then I've done a psychology degree as well. So I'm coming from the scientific mind sort of side of things. So I'm not sure where I am on this one, but so I'm really interested to see what happens.
It's really interesting you should say that because Dean, who is our skeptic in Spectrum Paranormal, he talks about in the programme how high electromagnetic fields can actually impact on psychology and can make you think you're seeing things and all that sort of thing. So I think you'll find that very interesting, which,
I'm sure I will.
Which is something to look forward to. But no, it's great to have you with us for the evening, and we'll look forward to some of those Halloween challenges later on. Brilliant, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can we change the rules so that if you win, you can have those?
If you win, you can have one of these.
Nice.
These are.
No, he wants a toxic ones if you win.
You want a toxic one?
Oh, toxic ones are great.
Oh, I'll show you later what you'll be eating.
He can't eat chilies.
You can't eat chilies? Well, that's all right. We've got something worse. Okay, so we're going to kick this show off with a Halloween bang. And just to let you know, if you're watching and you share this stream, then you will automatically enter yourself into a draw to be part of an investigation with Spectrum Paranormal Investigations. A fantastic prize, I'm sure you'll agree, and something that's not really out there on the market. You know, a private investigation, guys. Come on, share the stream, please. We are going to go over now to our band for the evening, Francis, who are a phenomenal band, and they're going to be playing tonight 2 of their original songs. So we're going to go over now to watch Francis.
It's working. It's working.
From my direction.
I did turn up a bit.
I don't know what's left to say. I can feel what's coming anyway. So I waited for you. Let's talk about money. It might be funny for the difference that it won't be. It's all just moments. Time has shown us that it's fleeting by day. I don't know what's left to say. I can feel what's coming anyway. To think what might have been if I could change just about anything. So I waited for you. Said I don't know what you're thinking. The words, they don't mean anything. And I don't know what to say. But I can feel what's coming anyway. To think what might have been if I could change just about anything. So I waited for you.
We are Spectrum Paranormal
Investigations.
Okay, we are back on the sofa now with Spectrum Paranormal Investigations. I'm joined by Dean, Hazel and Emily. So, hello guys. Hi. And I talk as if we don't already know each other. Of course, we do, because we've been putting together something quite exciting, haven't we?
We have, yeah. We have. Brand new series, you know, and hopefully all those viewers at home enjoy it tonight. You know, it's going to be an experience for us as well, obviously, to get the feedback, to see, you know, what the public think of this.
Definitely, and that's sort of what all of this is about tonight, isn't it? It's to, we want to gauge audience response and see what they think beyond explained.
Yeah, I think like, you know, because it's a pilot episode, it's our first time working with you guys, and you know, it's our own format. Maybe last, but you can take this year because it's the first time. But we've got a whole series planned, and I think after the good reaction we get tonight from the first episode, I think, you know, going into 2021 after lockdown, we should be hopefully get some good feedback and some more episodes.
And it would be great as well, you know, like I said earlier on, if people share the stream tonight, they're going to be, tell us a little bit about what the prize for this draw that we're doing will be.
It's just spend the night with Emily.
That's it,
really. No, basically, I mean, you know, obviously because of all this current situation, what we could provide next year, once you know the lockdown is eased, then we will look for a location. Somewhere very, very, very exciting.
Very haunted.
Very haunted, yes, very, very haunted. And then, obviously, we'll take them along with us and make them a part of the team for the night, you know, and put them through, you know, different methods of spirit communication and what to look for, the do's and don'ts of ghost hunting, you know, so they can, because obviously there's a lot of keen ghost hunters out there who want to gain experience and they want to, you know, it'd be a great opportunity for them
and what better people to get experience with your 26 years in the business as paranormal investigations team, aren't you?
Yeah, it's grown and grown and grown over years. You know, we've always stuck to the same formula of ghost hunting. We've learned ourselves as well along the way. You know, I mean, Emily has only joined us, what, 2 years ago now?
2 years ago, yeah. I used to be a ghost hunter before that, so I was on the other side of the table.
And you actually joined Spectrum after a very interesting investigation.
I did.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, we went to Kentish Town Underground Station. My sister actually booked us a ticket. And it was exciting because it was an underground station. That was a first for me. Yeah, very, very rare. And the one thing that stood out to me was the fact that we asked for a sign for something to tell us to leave, sort of trying to, you know, ask for something to happen, and it actually flooded, and we did have to leave. The whole thing
place
had to
flooded.
stop. Yeah.
It did.
Wow.
And there was a poor lady with a little mop, and I didn't, you know, the whole floor was covered.
Did you leave the poor lady with the mop just to mop it all up? I would not want to be a cleaner in that place. I can tell.
We're ghost hunters, not cleaners.
No. We don't get paid for that.
We don't get paid for it. No.
So you've got a very interesting demographic in the group, and let's start with Dean here, because Dean has developed a kind of he's developed. Well, I as the producer of the show told Dean that he had to think of his own religion because Dean is
I'm a skeptic.
He's a skeptic, otherwise known as Dean the Mean.
I get my own branding.
Yes.
Dean is known as the Mothman. From the Mothman prophecies.
Yeah. So Dean the Mean.
Spectrum
tell us
Paranormal
a bit about
Investigations.
and why you actually
the last
created it in the first place.
Well, I think we had a bit of feedback, you know, from one phone call from you, and we had a bit of dramas on the WhatsApp video call, and everyone was sort of started saying to me that, you know, maybe I could be a bit more softer in my approach and take in other people's opinions and views. So I think from there, I just thought to myself, you know, being a skeptic, maybe I shouldn't be such a closed book. I should open myself up a little bit. So, you know, Deanism is basically pointing towards skeptics, essentially. People that are non-believers in ghosts and are basically just rule it out completely. I think have an open mind. You know, if you do see something, then, you know, talk about it, let someone know. Don't just shrug it off. And I think, I would welcome, you know, skeptics to come to join Deanism, but also, I don't think skeptics should be shunned as well at the same time. I think you need a skeptic, you know.
Oh yeah, you do.
You know, I think you need a level head. You need a balance. You can't just be, I heard a bump, that's a ghost. You know, you do need to think of like the other side, and it is normal. So before you explore the paranormal, you have to rule out the normal. So that's what I would always explain in regards to Deanism, is just thinking outside the box a little.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a queue of skeptics outside.
Hi. Waiting to buy the book.
I'll sign later.
There's all these skeptics.
And I think it's an important point though. There's a lot of skeptics out there, and I think as well, like you say, it's so important to you know, okay, be sceptical, because it's a good way to be. And as Hazel and Emily would agree, you know, nothing is regarded as evidence until there is actual proof.
Concrete.
Yeah.
100% concrete evidence. I mean, you know, I'm sure she won't mind me saying this. Today I received a photograph that someone sent me very kindly, and you know, in the photo, when she took the photo, she was convinced that there was actually nobody in the shot.
Yeah.
And because she wanted to capture this one particular object and a chandelier, and when she did do that, well, like, she looked at the photograph after, and I believe it's her husband spotted his mum standing there, or what looked like his mum, or doppelganger, and he completely freaked. He was like, you know, he completely freaked out, because he was like, oh my God, look, that, you know, that's my mum standing there. And you know, when she showed me sort of side by side comparison, you can see that there is similarities between the two. And obviously I explained to her that, you know, we would have to rule out things like the shadow on the floor,
of course,
there was a shadow cast by the woman, and you know, then also the fact that she was in full colour, and she had fleshy tones.
So there's a lot of ruling out that you kind of have to do.
But then there is a lot of ruling out that you have to do before you even get down to the you know, question: is there you know,
is
life after
afterlife?
death? Is there something paranormal happening, or is it purely normal? You know?
Yeah, definitely. And Emily as well, you are the kind of balance between Hazel and Dean. And Hazel and Dean are kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum, if you're part of the
cheese wheels, the cheese wheel.
They call me the cheese wheel
because he's so cheesy.
I'm so cheesy. All the ideas for this show, all the cheesy ones sort of come from me. So if you get that right little bit of wittiness in there, it's down to me. But no. So Emily, you are the you know, the best of both worlds,
the balancer,
if you like.
of two.
The balancer. Hazel being quite a believer, aren't you? You're sensitive to the environment. You've seen things that make you think, oh, there potentially definitely is an afterlife. But Emily, you're sitting on the fence, and you're a bit sceptical, but at the same time you are you know, sensitive to the environment in a similar way to Hazel. So I think
so. I wouldn't say I'm as sensitive as Hazel, but I do sense things when I walk into a reportedly haunted location. But as well as Dean, you have to have the skeptic side to it, because not everything can be paranormal.
No,
I mean, you're very intuitive.
I think so. I do pick up on a lot. I have, you know, I will think of someone before they ring me, and then I get a phone call or a message, and that happens a lot through my life. Having dreams, and then sort of things come true. So so you're looking at that as in a more sort of analytical you have to
way.
Balance it out, because as you say, it can't all be.
I think you get that from your tarot reading.
I do.
Because she does tarot as well.
So that kind of gives you that. I think it's good to have a kind of understanding of both the spiritual world, and at the same time, it's a good grounding to have, and we'll see a lot of that later on in the programme, which we're about to show you all at home. So that's we're all very much looking forward to that. And Emily, you actually go around with two of our spiritual mediums for the evening, Alexandra Fellows, who will also be on the sofa later on this evening, and she's going to be giving Hazel a reading, so that'll be really interesting.
Can't wait.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. But how have you found the experience of making the show, and talk us through what it was like to be at the Cromwell on the night?
Then you start. Away you go.
What I basically will say is that, you know, we went into this having an idea in our minds as to what the sort of show we want to produce and go forward with. And I think, you know, we're 70% there. I think there's still a bit more improvement to make, but you do that when you do more development. But I think going forward for episode 2, episode 3, we'll come into our own. We'll add some methods in there we missed out in the first, because everything obviously has to be timed. So things that we couldn't get in the first episode, we want to bring into the next episodes and carry on. So hopefully the series will be action-packed, but we're not going to fake anything. What you see will be real, genuine, what we believe to be paranormal activity, and that's it. But great. But the Hotel Cromwell was a fantastic location. It was, great staff. It was in the end a very eventful night. Even though I thought it was quiet.
Yeah, well, I think we all thought it was quite quiet to begin with, and you'll get that in the episode. But you know, I think this episode will really give viewers a flavour for what's to come, and I think what is to come is some very exciting.
Oh yeah, if we get the right places to go to, and we explore some that have never been sort of explored.
Definitely, you know, untrodden ground, as they might say.
Basically untrodden ground. You know, because I know everybody thinks that, you know, historical buildings are always the places to go to find ghosts. No, you know, spirit activity happens everywhere. People talk about spirits, you know, on the side of the road, in
cars.
Well, even in cars, in modern, taxi drivers, you know, picking spirits up, and you know, driving along, and then they say that they, you know, turned around and the fare was gone. You know, and,
what a nightmare. Literally.
But I mean, this does happen.
It does.
You know, and there are a lot of avenues to explore in paranormal investigating.
And
itself.
Interestingly as well, I was having this conversation with Hazel when we were discussing the location, the Hotel Cromwell, and it's actually not very far from a ley line.
That is correct. It's not very far from a ley line.
And what is a ley line? Tell us a bit about that, because that was something, a term.
Ley lines are basically they're ancient sacred lines that run through the country, and they're scattered all over the planet. And they are said to possess you know, powerful energies. And you find that churches, for instance, are always built along ley lines. Glastonbury is built on a ley line, you know, and a lot of historical monuments that are built on ley lines. And what I find that interesting, because I think to myself, well, obviously, how did they detect the ley lines? I mean, obviously, they could have done divination back then and said, this is where the church must be built. That could be a possibility, and there's a ley line that runs from England all the way down to, I believe, all the way through to Rome, and all the cities.
They're all scattered on that.
But they're all named Angel. Like,
interesting.
Each city has the name Angel, but obviously in its own language, whatever it is, which I find really fascinating. But ley lines themselves are supposed to generate spirit energy as well, because they give off very high electromagnetic energy, which is, you know, Well,
it's definitely something that, you know, if people are interested, they might want to do a bit more Googling. And if you are at home, and like I say, if you're experiencing anything tonight, you know, of all nights it is Halloween, and things might be a little bit spooky at home. If you're experiencing anything, then please, you know, send us your comments in. We'd love to hear from you. But we're getting very excited now to premiere the first part of Beyond Explained for you. So we're going to get ready for that now, and I'd just like to divvy out, I've not got popcorn, so I'm going to divvy out some sweets and treats amongst you. I feel like I'm in pantomime, which that's not going to happen this year, is it? And while I'm doing this, we're going to get ready to watch Beyond Explained. So my lovely camera people there are going to switch the microphones, and we'll be ready to go.
Spectrum Paranormal Investigations have been on a quest for the last 26 years to find evidence of the afterlife.
And tonight,
We're at a building dating back to the 1600s, the Hotel Cromwell in High Street, Stevenage.
This place is full of mysterious hauntings and tall tales, and we would like some answers, so please join us as we go
Beyond Explained. Okay, so me, I love Marvel movies, superhero movies. I could watch them all day, all night. Now, I know if I was a superhero, I know who I would be, but who would you be, Emily?
I would be Elastigirl from Incredibles, so that when you two start each other, I can push you away.
What? Why?
Well, I can see obviously why. I can see why Emily would want to do that, because obviously we do have our differences in regards to the paranormal. But I think in the same essence, if she can push away, she can also bring together.
Yeah.
And I think she does a good job of, like, you know, keeping us all grounded and level-headed and stuff like that. I think obviously if I was a character, I would have to go for like Professor X from the X-Men, because, you know, he has the ability to be able to foresee events and be able to see things in his mind. And I think as a skeptic, you know, I would want to bypass all these experiments and just get to the real answers without having to do the groundwork at the same time, and just really want to know.
Yeah, and I'd be your nemesis. I would be Magneto.
Yes, I think that probably fits in quite well with our personalities.
I am at one with the environment, as you know. Whenever we've been on investigations, I sense things. I'm very sensitive, as well as like you being sceptical and you being superstitious. Basically, that's the three S's, isn't it?
You're sensitive.
I'm sensitive.
Superstitious.
You're superstitious, and you are a skeptic. Yeah.
Yes.
And we are here today at Cromwell Hotel to investigate reports of paranormal activity. This was once the former home of John Thurlow, who was the spy master and secretary to Oliver Cromwell. I can only imagine that there are some remnants of entities remaining within this building.
So the history of Stevenage dates back over 1,000 years. It's mentioned in the Domesday Book in 1086, although at the time we think the village that was mentioned then was clustered up around the Church of St. Nicholas. And the buildings along the High Street are the oldest in the town. They date back to the medieval period, and a lot of them are coaching inns. You can see the fact that Stevenage was a stop on the Great North Road for the coaches. From the early 1700s, the High Street was the site of a big cattle market, and probably that cattle market was held on the site of the Cromwell Hotel. The building was actually built slightly later. Since then, what's the building been used for? It's been a private house, a farm. Eventually, in the late 1800s, it was known as Cromwell Lodge, and in 1925, the Cromwell Hotel opened, taking up most of that site. But alongside the Cromwell Hotel, from the 1930s through to the 1960s, number 27, the High Street, was the site of a mother and baby clinic, a school dentist, and upstairs there was a flat for the district nurse. There are some unproven claims that it dates back, or at least parts of it do, to the early 1600s, but we don't have any proof of that, and certainly the middle part of the building dates back to the 18th century. The links to Cromwell come via John Thurlow, who was his chief spy master and Minister of State, and who is said to have owned the site at some point during the 1600s.
There's a report from a former manager who stayed in this room. Upon waking up, she see the figure of a tall woman standing right here.
I'm actually going to be investigating and sleeping in this room. Will anyone be watching me? I'd like some privacy, please.
I'm Dean Williams, and I'm sceptical, but open-minded. Tonight, I'll be putting myself into situations that some people may be daunted by. I have to do this to give myself the best opportunity to find hard evidence of the paranormal.
My name is Hazel Williams, and I am a sensitive. I'm tuned into the environment, and I can pick up and detect entities.
My name is Emily Mathers, and I am the superstitious one. Tonight I'm looking for connections between the spirit realm and science.
We are Spectrum
Paranormal
Investigations.
Hi, I'm Dean. I'm the General Manager at the Hotel Cromwell in Stevenage.
Hi, I'm Rich. I'm the Operations Manager at the Hotel Cromwell in Stevenage.
Working in this hotel it's a bit spooky at times, isn't it? It's a bit eerie, it's creaky floorboards, the history of the building going back to the days of Oliver Cromwell.
I always remember when a member of staff stayed over and she came down for work the next day and she was absolutely shattered. She hadn't really had any sleep and we asked her what was going on. She told the story about how she woke up in the middle of the night, the room's cold, and this woman was just stood directly above her bed looking down. People don't make that sort of thing up, do they?
Not someone like Katrina, who's sort of quite well rounded, and you know, and you'd think probably wouldn't believe in this kind of thing.
We've had guests check out. I remember one of our night porters telling us in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, someone checked out and said, "No, I can't stay here." So there's all sorts of stories.
Being the happy medium between Hazel and Dean, I thought it would only be right to take our mediums Alexandra and Kathy around the hotel for a walk around. Okay, would you like to follow me? We'll go down here and see if we can pick up on anything. I know the last couple of times I've been here, it's something about this area. Yeah.
There's a temperature drop. As we walked along the corridor there, I could feel it was getting colder. And I feel quite breathless in this area. I don't know about you, Kathy?
Definitely, there's massive activity going on around here.
Yeah, that's like lots of people.
Yeah,
lots of people. Yeah,
I'm hearing
busy,
a crowd
bustling.
and lots of laughter and talking and it feels like there's too many people for the space almost.
Yeah, it does.
Feels like there's a large gathering here.
And it's, I want to go back. It's like those old-fashioned clothes, if you know what I mean, the big clothes and the hats.
I'm seeing sort of browns and blacks and...
But, like you say, lots of big smart gentlemen and with the sticks.
Okay, like the
canes, with
yeah,
the gold knob thing on the top, yeah. Yeah, hats.
Do you know what else?
But it's a nice...
Stale.
Just as you said smell, yes.
Did any of them wash?
There is
there's
definitely a stale smell, and it is definitely heavy feel, but it's a nice feel. I'm happy being here.
It's joy. It's like a gathering, a joyous gathering. It's not.
I could join in quite happily.
No, I'm hearing laughter and chatting.
And there's definitely old drinking going on. Yeah. It's fun.
So he's warming up again now.
Nice feel.
It is really hot.
It
It's really hot.
I've always got to take my cardi off now. It's like it's going the other way.
Really warm.
Yes.
I'm going to hold on. Sorry, I've got my. It should give me a temperature of 22. Okay, we felt that the temperature was going up, and on the smart sensor you can see here it is going up roughly from 22 to 23. Whether it's because we're all stood together but we do feel it getting quite a lot hotter. So it's interesting to see, and you can see that on the smart sensor as well. Okay, should we carry walking down?
While Kathy and Alexandra are walking around the building using their sixth sense, I thought I'd better take a look around to get a better understanding of the location. So this is a meter. This is basically just measures the magnetic field and also the electromagnetic field. So we're going to walk through the building just to see if we get any fluctuations off any electrical wires that could have a big impact on people's emotions, feelings, over a long period of time. High EMF fields can really be detrimental to the body. So we shouldn't really pick up too much. So really, the baseline is 0, 0, which is indicating there's no, EMFs, no magnetic fields really. So anyone walking through here shouldn't really be disturbed by any environmental disturbances.
What thing do you feel when we coming down like an old woman?
I can't. Me too. What the hell?
What?
Someone just knocked on the door.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh.
As we were walking up to the Naseby suite, we heard a squeal followed by 2 knocks behind the door. We'd like to replay this for you.
I can't.
Me too. I know I was close, but I'd already just done that to look through the peephole, but it was a definite little... Can you knock on the door again, please? That was weird.
It wasn't the GoPro, was it, on the door?
No, because I went to peek through the thing. I mean,
No,
maybe
you didn't
it was
hit
me.
the door.
No, I don't think I did. I could have done, but I didn't feel like I did.
Mm.
It's annoying. I don't think I picked that up. I think I've just come up the last step.
Yeah,
Shame.
it could have been me because the floorboards are pretty, creaky. It could have
Yeah, but
sounded
not
like
like
a
a
knock
knock.
on the door.
Because I heard it. It did sound like a...
Oh, did you hear it? Did you hear it as well?
Yeah, I
Oh,
did hear
okay.
it. I think that's the only
That's
thing I've
always
heard
good.
today, but yeah.
Let's see the floor does.
No, it couldn't have been the floor.
It could have been
It
the
didn't-
floor.
It didn't have like a rattly type of
It was just
squeak. It
it-
was a proper knock.
Yeah, it did sound like a little.
Have you both heard it?
Okay,
Cool.
thank you.
I feel really down here.
I don't like it particularly. It's him that I don't like.
Hmm.
He's not nice.
Hmm.
And I see him while I see one of my canes again. But do you know what? It's not...
Oh, I just saw him hit someone with the cane.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
But it's quite a posh cane. And I think he's got children as well.
I get the name John as well,
And
or
I
Jonathan.
don't think he's nice to the children.
John or Jonathan. He's quite strong.
And I know you're sitting, and I know you said about there, but I think he used to sit there smoking. He spoke quite gruff as well. Gruff. That makes
I've just
sense.
got to add, I'm getting on the lungs now as well. It's like a, I don't know, cancer or my lungs hurt. There's something happening with the lungs. So
As soon as you said the lungs thing, it's
my
like
lungs were burning like an asthma or something.
it's like I
that
could
there.
see him sitting there. It's almost
I'm
like
short
taking his
breath now.
medication or something. Yeah.
It's like I wheeze and I can't get my breath.
You okay?
So let's take a look into room 112. So as I'm coming in, I can feel a dip right here. It goes right from that point all the way here. So I'm actually bowed in the centre of the bow. The room goes like this to the floor. It's a bit off balance. That may cause a bit of vertigo, lightheadedness. So I'll take a look around the room. I'll walk around, see if I can feel any disturbances naturally. So there's a slight increase where the TV is, but nothing that I feel will be detrimental to anyone's health or to heighten any senses of, paranormal phenomena. I think that it's 0 to 1, so there's not going to be any interference there. There is a note that the noise levels are quite high here because it is on the main high street, so that could cause some noise disturbances to the guest. Whether it has an effect on their sleep if it's quite a busy road and they're not getting a good level of sleep. It could be disturbing them throughout the night, which may cause them to be a bit restless, sleepless, and may get them to see visions, or maybe just make their vision a bit blurred. Let's have a look and see if there's any indications on the bed. I know that there was a story about a lady being seen just here.
I'm seeing a woman with hair up in a bun. I feel like her face is quite weathered.
Do you see them doing any particular kind of activity?
Do you know what I feel like? I feel she's an old lady, right? And I feel she comes across as all sweet and lovely to the outside world, but I feel she's quite a witchy person. I feel she's quite horrible.
Do you pick up on any smells? This is one thing in particular that I really picked up on the minute I walked through the door.
It's kind of musty. I get a musty smell.
Well, I'll be honest, when I first came in here, I smelled TCP. And instantly,
oh, it is a TCP smell. I felt she did something, but what she does, doesn't help people. She pretends it helps people. Does that make, that's what I was picking up from her, that she does things almost to look like she's helping people, but she's getting the money.
Pretenses.
Yeah, and it's a load of toot.
Munchausen by proxy, I think they call it today.
No, it's almost like she's, it's a money-making scheme. It's what we'd call a scammer today, without a shadow of a doubt with her. She's almost concocting, you saying that, it's prompted me to see it, if that makes sense.
No. I mean, what are you seeing?
I'm literally like, let's say she's making up something and tells someone, take this. This will cure your heart problem. Take this will be good for your blood pressure. Take this. And she's getting all this money, and it's almost like she's so lovely outside to everybody, but she comes up and she's like, all this money. I honestly feel there's something so two-faced about this woman, and she's greedy.
Okay, so I just noticed, I heard actually a vibration in my ear, and it's off. So I was just about to say that I heard the vibration of the cameraman's phone going off due to a text message, and we have to say for the camera that phones do kick off magnetic fields and electricity, but that, sorry for the pun, is beyond explained, because essentially we have to rule out everything.
You should say we actually cut. I'll turn my phone off and then we'll come back and it's doing it again.
So we've noticed that the cameraman was getting some text messages. We've put our phones on airplane mode to eradicate that. So that should not be happening now due to a mobile device. So I'm in the middle of the room and the batteries are fine, all on high level, no worries there, but we seem to be getting a high EMF field in this area. Now, there have been reports from a previous guest at the hotel. She see a figure of a tall lady standing here and there. So there is activity around the bed. I can't really put my finger on it, but in this particular area, again, I am just trying to rule out everything. So no, there's nothing that's showing on this meter. Try that one more time. There's something that's causing an electromagnetic field around this bed. It should be instantaneous. It's in the same spot. It keeps happening.
And we're back on the sofa now with Alexandra Fellows, our fantastic spiritual medium, and Hazel Williams, the founder of Spectrum Paranormal Investigations. I'm just looking on my phone now at some of the comments and things going in, so do feel free to get involved, okay? We'd love to hear from you, and remember, if you share or comment on the stream, then you will be entered into a draw where you could win the chance to join Spectrum Paranormal Investigations on your very own private investigation with them, which is a fantastic prize, I'm sure you'll agree. And yeah, so make sure you comment, make sure you share, and I'd love to have a bit of communication going on. If you've stayed at the Cromwell Hotel and you've experienced anything yourself, we'd love to hear from you as well. So keep commenting. And we're going to hand over now to Hazel and Alexandra. Hello. And thank you, Alexandra, for coming down this evening as well. I'd just like to start by getting your thoughts on the investigation and the evening. Tell us a little bit about what it is you do.
Well, I am a medium, a psychic, I tutor, and I demonstrate as well across churches and halls, across hospitals and bucks. And to be honest, paranormal investigation is not something I normally do. My passion is to connect people with their loved ones, to bring forward evidential information, a proof of soul survival, as we like to call it. That's my passion. However, this nature of work is still fascinating and great fun.
Yeah, it's completely different, isn't it, than the usual daily office?
Yeah, because technically there's no love link there.
No.
It's just the residue of energies of events in a building or that reside in a place.
Yeah.
So I welcome the opportunity when you, thank you so much for inviting me along.
You're very welcome. It's great to work with you.
It was brilliant.
And also, unfortunately, it's not in the programme, but you did tell us sort of about your beginnings as a spiritual medium, and I found that particularly interesting. So tell us where your story started.
Did it end up on the cutting room floor then?
It unfortunately did.
Go looking for it, and I said it so well as well.
Yeah.
You think, oh, I wish I'd said that. So it gives me a chance to add a few more bits in. Well, my story is that at the age of 4, there was an incident with a family member who disappeared for a while, and I was told they'd gone off to study or learn a new trade.
Yeah.
And at the age of 4, I kept insisting this person was in prison. And all my life, and I constantly questioned it, my family denied it, and it was only much later on that the truth came out, and it turned out this person had actually gone to prison, but bless them, they were trying to protect me and that person, I think. And then at quite an early age, I was sitting on my mum's lap. I was 6, and I just remember I was doing this to her. I was like pouring at her face, and she come over, what are you doing? And I said, I'm trying to take your mask off. You're not who you say you are. You're all pretending to be other people. But she hadn't told me yet that I was adopted. I didn't find that out till I was 10. So there were incidences like that, and then they called me witchy poo at school. But might have been a bit of a giveaway. So I'm feeling quite at home tonight as a
Is that your way home this evening?
Yeah. I didn't bring the car. Don't need it. I'm just going to fly home. And then really, I think it just unfolded into my early 20s. I went for a reading with a medium in St Albans called Mary Howard, and she kind of picked up on my abilities, and we became friends, and she started doing a few sort of exercises with me. And it's a real long story. I was actually beaten up in a car wash around then.
What happened there?
They obviously thought she was a car.
Yeah, it was.
Was it one of those ones, the big fluffy sponge things?
Well, let's just say the second time I went in, it only had 2 fluffy things instead of 3.
it's a 3-part story. We won't go into it because we'll be here all night. But the third time, it ended up the dryer came charging at me and pushed the windscreen in and trapped me in the car. And
you can't make that sort of thing up, can you?
No, I'm actually writing it out, and I'm going to post it somewhere at some stage. But it's quite a story. So at the time, mediums that I went for readings to kind of said, oh, you're meant to be doing this work. And I hear those stories again about how electric things have done stuff and it's been a sign. But then 20 years went by, I didn't go near car washes, Will, I have to tell you, because that ended up in a court case.
Wow.
I won, but that's another story. And then 20 years later, I went through, I won't say which car wash, but a local car wash here in Stevenage, and it did £2,000 worth of damage yet again. So I ended up, I walked into my local church, the Homily Spiritual Centre, and a lovely medium there greeted me called Bill Parkins. And I remember I said to him, I'm home, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me. I knew this was a sign, to the car. And Bill, bless him, gave me a big hug and welcomed me to the church. And then a few years later, I was doing there was Colin Fry was on telly, and he asked you to ask a question, email a question in, and I just said, will I ever be as good a medium as you? I don't know where that came from. And long story short, about 2 years later, I got an email from him and Tony Stockwell inviting me to a workshop.
Wow, just a little bit of name dropping.
Oh yeah, just Tony, if you're watching, you can pay me later for the plug. But from there, it's a real long story, but I ended up, I couldn't do that workshop, but the following month I flew up to Edinburgh and did a weekend with Tony and ended up at his school in Wickford at the time. And from there, that was in 2007. And from there I have been blessed and fortunate to study with amazing mediums like Natalie Eden Walker, Lynn Probert, Mavis Patilla. So amazing mediums and names. I'm probably
all of these
over
names
the place.
And Hazel as well.
And there is this history.
Yeah, well, Hazel, you've also worked with some pretty impressive names yourself, haven't you, over the years? If you'd like, this is your window now to.
Well, no. I mean, one of them was. I had the great pleasure of knowing personally Maurice Gross from the Enfield Poltergeist case, which I'm sure is now synonymous because of The Conjuring too. And obviously I've worked with other paranormal groups,
and in the show as well, in Beyond Explained, in part 2, which we'll show a little bit later on, you actually adopt a method used by one Harry Price.
Yes,
is that correct?
That is correct. Yes. Harry Price, and because Maurice Groves said to me one thing, Hazel, the world's about to go digital, and if you're going to do any research at all, keep it analog. Yeah. Because analog data you cannot fabricate. No. As much as you can with, back then, digital. The digital age was just starting out. Digital cameras and so on and so forth. And he sort of knew, obviously, that it was going to go that way anyway in the field, and it has gone that way. And sadly, you can have machines with whistles and bells and everything that's going off, but there is no real device other than your physical body that can actually
detect things.
That can detect
and also all these digital devices and things that are used now, it just doesn't carry the same weight as getting something to physically stop.
Don't get me wrong, Will. I mean, we do use them. Yeah. But we use them as, because although there are EMF fields and they do detect electromagnetic fields, I can't personally get a reading from my hands and go, oh, it's 0.1 milligauss. So we do rely on technology. Yes, we do. But, your body tells you when things aren't right. People walk into buildings and they're like, oh, I don't feel, but that's because your senses This is just your natural senses that we have anyway, and a lot of us have been desensitized over the years because of the multitude of things that are going on the planet at any one time. You know, there's lots of depression and, you know, poverty and wars and God knows what, and that scrambles your ability to tune in. Even more so.
And Alex will you know, I'm sure she will vouch for that. And the fact that I think it's brilliant that both of you work in a way where, you know, you're on that kind of evidential approach. You know, towards finding bits of evidence that you could give to people, and the same, you know, in the quest to find proof of the afterlife. And I think it's, you know, hats off to both of you for working in that industry.
I don't doubt the afterlife.
Yeah.
I just want the validation for humanity to be able to see that there is something other than this life that you have, even if you know, are reincarnated and come back as, you know, a pigeon.
There's plenty of those around here in Stevenage. But I think that's a key thing, and we were discussing before, Hazel, about, you know, imagine if, you know, because it's such a huge thing, you know, finding evidence of the afterlife, that's one of the biggest questions that the world has ever seen or will ever see. And we were saying, weren't we, if somebody suddenly discovered that there was proof, how would that change the world that we're in? How would it?
We were
It's
talking
amazing.
and it would change everything.
It would.
I mean, you know, because obviously a lot of people, they won't fear death as much.
Absolutely.
And they
changes the way you live.
It change the way you live, and like, you know, we were saying that obviously people won't have cause to go out and, you know, murder someone.
Can I take that a step further?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
What I think changes everything, apart from the continuation of the soul, is the fact that we are all connected and we are all one.
Oh yes.
Because would you then go and stab someone or harm someone, knowing that we are all one big ball of love and all part of the whole? One love, you know, as it says. So
Bob Marley.
In the words of Bob Marley, yes.
Yesterday it was. I think it was 40 years.
Yes,
since Bob Marley's
his grandson. Split Marley. He was on the This Morning show.
He was, and who else was on that This Morning show? Who else?
No, I didn't drop that. That was not a plug. That wasn't a plug. What it was, he was on the show, but obviously we followed him. It was the next story. But the thing was, it was just so weird listening to Split Marley sing the Bob Marley songs. It was like watching, you know, like Bob had risen again and come back as his grandson. It was just absolutely fantastic.
It was amazing.
But you know, this is what we have as human beings. We are all connected in so many ways. We have so many links every day that we don't realise that we miss. Because you know we're
all kind of fixated nowadays on our phones.
Yes, you are,
Will. And speaking of which, I'm just going to have a little look to see if we have got any more comments coming on through. Where are we? There we are.
I haven't dared to look at my phone in case sound came through.
No. Is there one from my mum saying get off?
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get started now then with Alex. You're going to give Hazel a reading now. So I know Hazel's been very much looking forward to this, so we're very much looking forward to see if you manage to get anything from Spirit.
Sure.
Amazing.
Okay. Want me to take it away?
Yeah, over to you.
I have to say, I don't know why, I've done Zoom church services and I do platform all the time, and yet this is a different kind of environment, so I'm just going to ignore everybody.
Just pretend you're Colin.
And it's just, oh my God, he's dead. So I could be Tony. I wish I was as good as Tony. But yeah, Tony can do it. Bless him. I don't know how he does it under the lights, but anyway. So Hazel.
Yes.
Our time has come. And I know that when we were filming it the other week, I started to feel your loved ones wanting to come in, so we had to hold them back. So I'm inviting them forward now to link with you. Are you aware how cold it's gone up here?
It is cold, yes, that's why I'm
frozen.
holding it.
So I take that as a good sign. So do say no to me if there's anything that you can't take, but I will aim to be as accurate as possible as I bring your loved ones in. Now, I was aware when we were speaking a couple of weeks ago, so I just want to declare what I do know. Obviously you mentioned your health condition and that it was hereditary, and I was aware of a lady who had also passed in the same way that wanted to come and connect with you. But you've also mentioned and you've told me that your father's in spirit, and I'm very aware of his presence here too. I'm wanting to come and join with you. But the lady was first, so I think she's going to push Dad out of the way and she's been waiting patiently. I know that there are two ladies that actually want to connect with you. Now, Hazel, apologies if I get anything a little bit out. I will try to be as accurate as possible. Do tell me if it's a little bit out, and I will try for relationships. But if you recognise the person but the relationship is wrong, then perhaps you can just nudge me on that. These two ladies that come forward, one is taller and bigger than the other one. And I am aware that one is bigger in stature too, one is bigger in build. But I do feel like, would you understand, your mum's in spirit, your nan is in spirit, and she says she's come through many times before directly to you. True or not?
Yes.
Yeah, but she's come through mediums as well.
Yes.
She says she's made her presence known.
Yes, she has, yeah.
And so let me just get that a little bit more. So would she be about 5'3", 5'4" in that region?
I would.
You were quite young when she passed?
I wasn't alive when she passed.
Oh, so she's good, but you know of her?
I know of her,
That's fine. Then you've seen pictures of her?
Yes, I have.
She makes me aware that you've seen black and white and colour pictures of her. But she also makes me aware, so she would be quite elderly now, but come a bit closer, darling. So she would have been in her 60s when she passed.
I believe so, yeah.
Yes, it's fine if you can validate.
I believe so, yeah.
She makes me aware she was in her 60s when she passed, and she makes me feel too like she passed quite suddenly. There was something quite sudden there with her.
Was sudden, yes.
So was that the heart condition there?
Yes, it was.
Because she gives me this bang.
Yeah.
And your mum has to be careful too. Your mum's had to be careful too. It's just everybody has to be careful in the family because this is in our DNA. Your mum's still here?
Yes, she is.
Yeah. What time did you leave though? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. So bear with me. She acknowledges this lady that she has made her presence known through your mum too. Although I don't know, it feels like Mum can be a bit of a sceptic with all of this. I don't know. It's like
she is.
It feels like she's sort of like she wouldn't listen, but she would be open to it.
She would be open to it, and she would listen. She would, but she is sceptical.
I understand. Yeah, your mum's in her 70s now.
Yeah.
She's fine, don't worry, I'm not saying she's going anywhere. It's not that. But I know that they've been apart a long time.
Yeah.
And your nan's making me aware, and you may have to ask your mum this, she's making me aware she had quite small feet. There's something about her feet.
Ask my mum.
There's something like she only had size 3 feet or something like that.
Yeah,
but your mum has siblings as well.
Yes.
She's one of 3, your mum?
No.
Is it more than that?
Yeah.
Okay, bear with me. Let me try and get her a little bit louder. I've got your daddy who wants to come in as well. So I'm going to just give a little bit more from your nan, because she says your mum, this message is ready for your mum, because she would like to know.
Okay.
So let me try that again. Would she be one of 5?
Oh.
I feel like there's one of her siblings in spirit too.
Hold on, I'll have to...
You have to do a count.
Yeah, I have to do a count in my head. Let me just work out.
It's like there's one that's somewhere
No,
else.
there's more than
Okay, don't worry, let me...
big fan.
Okay, don't worry. Then there's something about she's close with 5, or there's 5 in her immediate, and there's something
Okay.
about a brother that's quite relevant as well.
Okay.
Her brother's close to her. The Irish links with you?
No.
Okay, don't worry. Let me just bring Dad in now, because I know, obviously, if you didn't know your nan, it doesn't give us the strongest link. But I know that she wants to send her love to her.
Okay.
Do we know the name Bob?
Bob.
Robert. Bob.
Yes, I do actually. I do know the name Bob, yeah.
Where does that link in for me?
With my dad.
No,
Yeah.
thank you, because that's where I'm going with this. I'm going to get stuck in now.
Yeah.
That's someone around your dad. It's not your dad's name.
No, it's not my dad's
someone
name,
around
no,
him.
someone around him.
That he would have been close to, or he would have known. Now, as Dad comes in, I feel like I want to say I've arrived. I feel a strong energy with him, and that's where you get your height from.
Yeah.
Was he about 6 foot?
No.
Taller?
No, smaller.
Okay, sorry. It makes me aware that this is where you get your height from. You don't get it from your mum, I feel. You get it more from Dad.
Yeah.
Again, your dad makes me aware of a sudden passing, but I feel there was an illness with him beforehand.
Yes,
something
there
that
was.
takes him down steadily and slowly.
Yes,
almost.
that is correct, yes.
And he... come closer, sweet. It's funny because I have a man who would be very upbeat. I feel like but very private. I feel like
He was very private.
very private, but he's quite jovial with people outside, or
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm a big. You know when you enter the room.
That is a very good description of my dad. Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. And you were from London?
Yes.
Because I feel like I've got a real Cockney kind of man here. But he says he's a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. I'm a no messing.
Yeah. My dad was very WYSIWYG.
Yeah, he doesn't suffer fools gladly.
No, he doesn't.
Definitely that. And he does make me feel too, Hazel, like you're very much a chip off the old block. He said you've got his honesty.
I know what he'd be calling me. Yeah.
He talks about a bull in a gate, a bull in a china shop sometimes. But you don't mean it that way. You have no intention of hurting feelings any more than he did. And so were you from the East End?
We did have East End connections.
Okay. I'll tell you what I see. I'll just stick with what I'm seeing. Is I feel like I'm in an East End pub having a pint and a bit of a sing-song.
The pub and the pint, I'll definitely go.
Okay. And he says also you've had to tame it. Yeah, you would have gone and partied yourself, but you've had to tame it.
I basically, I stopped.
You've had to rein it right in.
I stopped alcohol when I was in my early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he says you used to party, or you used to
party
a little bit too much, which is just where you've probably saved your life because you've reined it in.
Yeah,
he also makes me feel, Hazel, like you had said your goodbyes, but when he went, you didn't get a chance to. Or there was something.
I did get a chance to sort of say my goodbyes, but when he passed, I never got that.
That's what he gives
last
me.
chance.
Is this cancer
sort of
condition with him?
No.
There's something he degenerates with.
It was something he degenerated with.
Okay. Because I feel as though I'm getting smaller and weaker, and it's like it's getting more difficult to speak to. Something. Would you understand that?
Yeah,
it feels a bit like a cancer or a Parkinson's condition or something like that.
It was a long, drawn out.
Is it motor neurone?
No.
Then don't tell me.
I won't tell you, but it was just a.
You would understand that description of it.
It was a whole plethora of different illnesses that
I can't nail it exactly, but he makes me feel with too many things. But he makes me feel like this is how it felt to me.
Yeah.
I know that he goes from a strong man who was always busy to a man who now struggles to get up or is struggling to move around, and he hates that because he was really mobile. And you'd understand too him needing oxygen, or he needs something to help him breathing.
He did need help with all that, with his breathing, and
he was a very proud man, and that didn't work.
He was
for him.
very proud, and it didn't work.
Yeah, that's exactly what he gives me. And do we know Vincent?
Vincent
and Brian. There's a B. He's trying to give me a B. be Brian.
The Brian I can accept. I can accept the Brian, but the Vincent not yet. No.
Don't worry. Let me just try this. Would your dad have ridden a motorbike in his younger days? Because I wonder if it's a reference here to motorbikes.
That I don't know.
Okay, hang on to it, because I feel like I'm talking about Vincent motorbike as I say Vincent, as opposed to. Hang on just a sec. He's just. He makes me feel too like he was too young to go. I feel like he's again in his 60s, late 50s, early 60s.
70s.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had a lot of. He would have wanted to have done a lot more in his life.
Done a lot more,
he felt like his life was cut short. He says, "Thank you for the flowers, girl. You've put some flowers somewhere for him."
Yes, there is a place where there are flowers, yeah.
You've been placing flowers for him, and you've placed some. Is it you that's placed some recently?
That would be my mum.
Ah, bless you, because he shows me fresh flowers in this place in remembrance of him, and he says he's irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And do we know Gary?
Yeah.
Gary, you can understand?
Yeah, I can understand that, yeah.
Okay, I just feel like he wants to hit someone round the head as I say Gary. I don't know if
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, that's good, okay.
Yeah,
that's
that
fine.
makes a lot of sense.
Listen, he's fine. He's up and running around again. I think he used to kick a ball at one point. I don't know if there was a bit of football or just playing with a ball with the lads or something like that there. But he had all of that taken away from him.
Right.
He's up and about again, being active and agile. I know he would love his roast dinners. I love my food.
Yes.
And he shows me steak kidney pie.
He loved a Sunday roast.
And steak and kidney pies and chips and
he was
fish and chips. He's giving me all the English food,
he loved his, that was his food that he loved to eat, fish chips, pies, whatever. And
I feel like my puddings are nice too. My apple pie and custard and all of my English foods. What he's giving me is my English food.
Yeah,
I don't really want curry or anything.
No.
None of your
He did like a curry, but
not often.
But it's mainly just these English food. His typical lamb chops, boiled potatoes, and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Because he wants you to know he's fed himself up again, and he's put all his weight back on.
Good.
And he's been gone about 10 years now.
He's been gone 5.
Oh, apologies. I've got it too many years. Well, the good thing is that when it feels like they've been there a bit longer, then that is a good sign that they've settled in.
Okay.
But he especially wants me to tell you how proud of you he is, how you've carried on.
Yes.
And some of it is in his name. So you're doing something in his name or in his memory.
Yeah, I did do something in his name.
You did a charity or a run or something?
No. Oh, I can't even run a bath.
What was it that you did in his name, Hazel? There's something. Are you either fundraised or something?
No, I just had when he passed, I had one Spectrum jackets made up, and I had one specially made in memory of his his passing. So that was the thing that I did for him personally. But in terms of anything else, I can't.
Ask you one other thing?
Yes, you can.
Somebody had a tattoo for him as well?
That I would have to check because did they? I think they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah. No,
There's
you're
a
right.
nudge in the tattoo.
It's
quite a small one, I feel. I don't think it's a really big one.
No, I will check that because I know they did. I know that there's tattoos in memory of him. Yeah.
Will's trying to wrap us up.
Thank you. Yes.
Can I just
You can formally finish. Of course
I'll leave you with their love, Hazel. Thank you so much for working with me. I hope that was all right for you.
Elbows.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Alexandra. That was really lovely to see. And Hazel, I suppose now, was there anything?
Yeah, there was one thing that I wanted to check because what it was, I had a picture. I got a picture of my nan.
Oh.
You see, and I wanted to see if you was able to see her.
Ah, yeah.
Of what she came to you like are you able to see them visually, or is this just a feeling
how I
or
saw her,
sensation?
so I'm aware of time restraints. How I saw her was, I saw a black and white picture.
Yeah.
I see her hair is set, or her hair is set, it's quite short or something like that there. I feel like she would have worn scarves in her day, but I don't know if she's got one on in the picture.
Right.
But a beaming smile, I feel like I've got a beaming smile with her. And she got a coat on in the picture. There's always one where she's got a raincoat on in the picture.
Yes, there is one picture of her.
But there's another one of her holding a baby. I'm aware of her holding a baby in a picture too.
There is one of her holding a baby.
And there's one, so there's a link with her at the seaside.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. So is that kind of touching? What you've got there.
I just want to know, could you give me a description of visually her face? And
how I'm
what do you see?
seeing her.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lovely smile with her. I do see pretty eyes. I feel like I've got pretty eyes, and I feel like it's like she's either you've got her eyes or you look like her quite a bit. I see there's a lot of similarity.
Okay.
Is it that looking at you is like looking at her almost? Oh wow!
Oh, just for the camera, I'll just going to hold it up to the camera. There we go. So that's the picture that Hazel. Ooh, I'll move that way. Is showing to Alexandra there. So it's pretty similar then, pretty accurate with the description that you gave there.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's got a coat on in that one.
Oh, she has as well.
Yeah,
good.
Well done. In that one, but there is one.
You've got the same mouth as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. And there is one where she's got this trench coat on. She's with two of her sisters, and there's another one of her by the seaside.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was fascinating. There was a few things that came through there that I can confirm were really accurate.
Wow.
And
that's the evidential stuff.
No, because I understand mediumship.
So relieved.
No, but I understand mediumship.
Yeah.
And I understand, like I said, I was explaining to Alexandra earlier about psychometry, picking up objects and being able to, I've done a very similar thing where I've picked up people's rings, watches and bracelets, and I just blurt out the names of people, and they're like, I had one woman burst into tears because I held her ring and I was going, Barry's coming through, and she just, it was her husband who passed away,
Oh wow! And, that is fascinating.
I'll just ask one thing. Your dad had really thick hair.
All right up until the
Towards
end.
the end.
Yeah.
I was aware of this really thick hair. So time restraints. If I was working at home, I could remember all of these things.
You would have an hour to do this normally at least.
He's very proud of his hair.
But yeah, so thank you very much for doing that. We'll be seeing more from Alexandra in the cellar of the Hotel Cromwell. Which we will see later on in part 2 of Beyond Explained. I'd like to take this time now just to remind you all, if you're watching at home, to please click the share button or send us a comment. That will automatically enter you into a draw to, if you want, join Spectrum Paranormal Investigations for a private investigation experience with them, which I think is a great prize. So once again, thank you, Alexandra. We're now going to hand over to Joshua Eukin, who is the presenter of the Rig Show here at SG1 Radio.
Well, hello. We are here, of course, on the set of SG1. We've been here the whole time. Why am I saying this? Hello. Here you go. Can I try again? Right. We of course, we mentioned earlier, we have some challenges for Trev and Slava today. Now, I've never seen two grown adults sit and adjust apples to the point where they are perfectly in position, ready to go on the beat with that. They're trying to sabotage each other now. It is intense. Completely non-competitive people, and of course
He's got unfair advantage, he's got no hair.
Where did he go?
seem to have misplaced it. I do apologise. I think I might have to put childminding on my CV because what you guys missed was these two tried to put Mr. Skeleton back here, shall we say Mr. Bones. They tried to put his foot in his mouth and instead broke him, almost took his head off and had to re-clip him back onto the wall. So, you know, I do apologise. They are children. I feel like the oldest one here, and I'm not even 21 yet. Anyway, what we've got here is, as you can see, 2 white tubs. That's it. There's nothing in them. That's the game. I'm kidding. It's apples. We are going to be bobbing for apples today for classic sport. Now, Slava has actually specifically requested me fill hers with bourbon. Don't know why.
No, gin.
Gin, of course, gin. That'll be the colour. I think, yeah, we've got some water here as well. And what is going to be, I think, possibly the most intense game of bobbing for apples I've ever commentated on. Possibly my first one, actually. So yeah, this is 2 non-competitive people, and what I haven't told them is the loser is going to be having one of these cocks. You know what? You seem to quite enjoy these earlier, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
What I'm going to do instead, whoever loses, we're going to have 2 of these.
That's fine.
At the same time. So apologies. We are going to have 2 of these instead, because I've got plenty, and I want to give them all away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a countdown. It's going to be a race. There's 5 apples. First person to... I'm in the splash zone, aren't I?
Yeah.
Wrong day. Of course, we can't. It's not half a game of bobbing for apples. All 5 out of the ditch. Using your mouth, of course. Hands behind the back, thank you. One hand behind the back for Slava. And, yeah, you can hold yours. That's all right. There, go ahead. And yeah, try not to pull it down each other. Try not to pull the bowls out of the way so you headbutt the desks. And yeah, on my count, you're both going to dig your heads in. First person to get all 5 out wins. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. This. Wow, Trevor's off to a flying start. That's 3. Slava has yet to get 1, that's 4. And this is possibly the most anticlimactic game of bobbing for apples I've ever seen. Right there.
It's a beaver in his last life.
That right there is a man in his bobbing apple prime. I think you might have to consider going pro after that one. That was incredible.
Let's give him another round.
Another round of applause,
I'm playing
for
for
you,
the team for that.
as was suggested, you're going to have to take 2 of these now. They're different flavours.
My choice to do that.
Oh, it's mine though, and it's staying that way.
Oh no.
So, also, I forgot to mention, we do have the word spooky up here, but I do apologise. I'm too tall for the camera, so it just says slully instead. So apologies, it's slightly cut off. But it says spooky, I promise. And yeah, so we're just going to intensely all stare at Slava and
Okay, thank you very much, Joshua, for being our game show master there over there for the very first SG1 apple bobbing challenge, and perhaps the most limited edition thing you will ever see. Don't worry, we've got some even more exciting things coming your way after the second part of Beyond Explained. I wish I had a bit of music there just to go
Round it up.
I was kind of Beyond Explained. And we're very soon going to be going over to that now. So I'd just like to get a word with Hazel, but before we go back to that, what can viewers expect from this second part of Beyond Explained?
Well, okay, so in the second half of the show, we actually do get validation of one of the experiences that took place in one of the rooms for a member of staff who stayed there. And Dean, when he was getting his... I won't spoil it.
No, don't spoil it.
I won't spoil it, but there's validation on quite a few things here. And you're also going to actually hear something otherworldly. I never heard it. No. And I was there in the room.
See, it was interesting when piecing together this programme and kind of seeing all these different things that I didn't pick up when we were actually there.
Because there's so much going on, your brain doesn't
it's
register
amazing, and I think there'll be a few things that make people lean in, to what's going on here. So we're getting ready now, and we are going to go over to Beyond Explained Part 2.
Someone's hung themselves in there, without a shadow of a doubt. There's been a hanging. Okay. Sleep well tonight, love. Thank you.
How do you pick anything up in this?
Come and try this corner, Kathy, because I'm feeling very cold in this corner. I know there's a window here, but just in this corner here,
really cold.
I was just as soon as I came in the room, I was drawn over to this corner.
I'll tell you why. Because there's a gentleman sat on that chair with a cigar. It's really cold. You go on this chair, it's really cold.
I can just feel it standing in this corner. In fact, as I walked in, I was drawn to come straight over here. To be honest, I'm not sure what it is about it. It just feels like a dark corner.
Someone's occupying this space.
Without a doubt, and I don't
Or
think
there's been a bad event in this corner.
He's not a particularly nice
honest.
man, and I think he's got something to do with the hanging. I swear there's been a hanging.
Before we sort of earlier on when I was using the ladies, I know it sounds silly, but I knew someone had hanged themselves in the building.
Oh.
But I wasn't aware of where or when. I was hoping it would come out in the room. But there's something has happened in the corner here, and it's still got a dark energy kind of to it. Is what I feel is a memory over here.
Okay.
Do you sense anything here out of interest, Emily?
Not particularly. More there but instantly when I first came in, the first time I came to the hotel, it was that area by the bathroom that I really didn't like. It gave me chills, and
Can we go and have a look?
I wasn't comfortable at all. But I don't feel as bad.
It's definitely a gentleman sitting there, and he's not. I feel he's got something to do with that, and there's a lady over here as well who's connected to him. And the hanging. There's definitely been two people. I think there's a man, an older gentleman and lady, and I think the person that was hung, I want to say, was female, and I don't think they were particularly old.
Okay.
I do feel quite nauseous stood in this space, to be honest. Have you stood here?
Yeah, I went in there. It's not a nice feel.
Yeah, I do feel quite nauseous, and I almost feel a bit fearful as I come in here.
Yeah.
Something very uneasy in this area.
So, Kat, can you tell us a little bit more about your experience in the room here? What actually happened? Do you mind giving us a run through of your experience?
So, I was staying overnight here, and more or less as soon as I walked in the room, I felt really uncomfortable, but I wasn't sure why. And then it took me a long time to go to sleep, and when I eventually did, I woke up. I don't know how long I'd been asleep, but I woke up and I was convinced that I had a really tall woman in a long black dress standing over my bed, and she was on this side of the bed, and she was more or less leaning over me, and I was so convinced that she was there, I had to shout out hello to see if someone was going to answer me.
Yeah. Do you mind me asking you, like, a personal question? Was you intoxicated on the night? No, because we have to ask that question just to rule out any, influences, whether it be through alcohol, drugs, or any medication that you might have been taking.
Yeah, no, I'd taken nothing. I'd drank nothing.
No, that's fine. I mean, that gives us a little bit more validation.
Yeah, what I wanted to say was, obviously earlier in the day, I walked around the building to try and do some baseline readings of the room, and obviously the room is a bit slanted, so I think that would have caused issues with maybe a bit of vertigo and light-headedness, but that is not what I experienced in this room. Now, myself and the cameraman only know what happened in the room. And I'll explain this to you because I wanted to get this on film so that we could have a genuine reaction, because you don't know this.
No.
But I have a meter here, an EMF meter. Now, I had no idea where you had seen the spirit of the lady. Now, when we did the first thing, filming here, I thought it would be somewhere in that location, but you're saying it was around here.
Yeah.
Now, earlier on in the night, I was doing a sweep of the room, and it was 0 across the board on my meter.
0 milligauss.
0 milligauss, both on the magnetic field and the electric field. Did a sweep, got a bit of interference from the phone, obviously because it's plugged in. Got round to here, and talking about the background noise in the road and the noise disturbances. Have we got to this point here? And this is when the meter went up to 200, 300 volts. So there was a spike directly in this location.
Of electric field.
Of electric field. Something interfered with my meter. Now, that's why I wanted you up here to tell me where you had seen the figure, because that ties in exactly with where you said that you see the figure.
It probably was drawn to you as a person for a reason, and don't be frightened.
I feel a bit frightened.
No, but the thing is this,
Yeah.
I mean, the entity would, obviously recognise you, or may just needed the attention of you that particular night. I mean,
I've had many bad dreams in my life, and this was so
real.
much worse than, yeah.
So it's just an actual figure of a woman
Yeah.
in a period dress, just
A long black dress,
long black
is,
dress
is all I can...
standing here.
By the side of the bed.
Right here. For me, as a skeptic, it kind of validates your experience in a sense.
And also for me as a sensitive.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we'll try and replicate that and try and do a little Q&A to see if we have any...
Yeah, we'll try and call out.
Yeah, and see if we get any responses.
We've got Kat's story now. So now I would like to invite Spirit into the room. I call upon the world of Spirit. If you can hear my voice, I invite you into the room with us now. Come and join us this evening. We mean you no harm. We just wish to communicate with you. My name is Hazel. Next to me is Kat, and next to Kat is Dean. Now we're going to ask you if you can move towards me, and on the bed you'll see a device which I'm going to point to just here, and if you move towards me then the device will go off. I believe it will make a sound to validate your entrance into the world. Now, I understand that you may haunt the room as you appeared to this young lady standing next to me, and you gave her quite a scare. If you can hear my voice, can you please knock once on the wall? Okay, so can you just check over by the lights to see whether that spikes?
Yeah, I mean, I checked earlier on, but I'll just validate it again.
Yeah, could you
so
do
that
that
we
for
can
me, please?
Double check. So there's a bit of a spike here, but it goes to around 37.
Okay, so nothing significant.
Nothing, it's not even beeping. So
yeah, that's fine.
No, so obviously it was only here, and as you draw back.
Well, this did, yeah. So that's
Go
our
back
focal
to-
point
yeah.
right now. I feel there's something touching the back of my head. I don't know why. It's not irritated me at all, but I feel like something's tickling in the back of my head. Could be psychosomatic, could be
maybe,
something like it happened.
I don't know if you'd feel comfortable talking, calling out. Would you be okay with that?
What would I say?
Well, you just say, spirit that came to visit me, can you please make your presence known?
Okay.
You can even hold the meter if you want, Kat.
Yeah, hold the meter.
Shall I?
Yeah, why not?
Hold the meter.
Zero it and then, okay.
Okay. So, the spirit that came to visit me, can you please reveal yourself?
If you're here, you can hear my voice, please come forward. We mean you no harm. We just want to know that you're here. And what we experienced earlier really was you. Lady on my right, she's holding a device. If you walk towards her, you'll make the device go off. So can you replicate what you did earlier on? If you are here, can you make the meter go off? Just walk towards her. Walk towards her. Carry on. Carry on walking towards her. It spiked just a little bit.
It did.
Not to go off, but it did spike. Carry on. Use the energy.
It's going up. What's interesting is that's the electric field that's going off, not the magnetic.
Yeah, so it's not a phone. There was a slight jump to show that there was a little bit of an interaction.
Well, Kat can validate that, can't you?
Yeah. So I would say, from a sceptical point of view, let's say, or Dean the Mean, as they would like to call me, I think I've seen enough here just to sort of say, there isn't too much happening in the room. The temperature seems to be okay, not feeling any cold spots and stuff like that. So the atmosphere seems okay. That may change at night, maybe when the lights are off. So while the team were investigating the other part of the building, I thought I'd come down to the oldest cellar in the location, which I've been told by the management that no one's actually been down for many, many years. So I'm looking forward to going down there and putting myself in this situation to hopefully get some paranormal activity. So I'm going to go down there now, and the team are going to close up the cellar door behind me, and hopefully I'll come back out again. Okay. So as you can see, I'm down here at the moment. It's not too big, it's quite a small room. So anyone with sort of claustrophobia or someone afraid of spiders wouldn't do too well down here, but we have to do this in our jobs to try and validate people's experiences. So this definitely ain't for the faint-hearted though, being locked under here. So if there are any spirits here with me down in this part of the building, can you please make your presence known? If you're down here, can you knock twice for yes? Are there any spirits down here with me? If so, can you please make your presence felt? So as you can see, I can see the meter. So I have put it on this canister, and I'm gonna ask out. As you can see, it's currently on 00. So I'm going to ask out just to see if there is any interaction.
With when we work on the broad spectrum, right, we use talcum powder. Like I said, that eliminates the want to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got the sweaty hands, right? So therefore, I'm going to tell. Can you tell this gentleman up, please?
Do I talk everyone?
Yeah, just give it. That's a
Multi-talking?
tiny little bit of talk. That's enough. That's enough, Em. Not too much. Not over the ball.
Smells very nice.
Oh God, that's it. Thank you. We're all gonna basically join hands, okay, just to build up the energy. And what I want you to do is to make sure your feet are firmly grounded on the floor. I call upon the world of spirit. I'm asking that you guide over us this evening as we join together to make communications with the realm of the spirit world. We ask for your protection and for your loving light to shine over us, and that all evil spirits be banished from this room. As we ground our feet to the floor, through to the earth, and through to the earth's core. Can you please repeat after me? Please protect us from the forces of evil during this session.
Please protect us from the forces of evil during this session.
Let there be nothing but light surrounding this board and its participants.
Let there be nothing but light surrounding this board and its participants.
And let us only communicate with the powers and entities of the light.
And let us only communicate with the powers and entities of the light.
Protect us, protect this building.
Protect us, protect this building.
Protect the people in this building.
Protect the people in this building.
And let there only be nothing but the light of love.
And let there only be nothing but the light of love.
Amen.
Amen.
I can feel it vibrating.
It's just moves slightly. The energy's
I can
building
actually,
up.
yeah, I can actually feel something very, very, very,
quite powerful.
yeah, quite
starting to
powerful,
build.
and it is actually vibrating and resonating.
Mm.
So, I call upon the world of spirit. Can you please move the planchette and connect with our life force energy to make this happen, so we can communicate with you?
They're watching, they're looking at us. And it feels like when it moves, it's going to move suddenly. Did you hear that?
I heard a moan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. John, are you there?
It's gone really cold now.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes. Really, really cold.
Oh yeah, there it is now. It's going icicles now. Can you feel that? When it moves, it's going to move suddenly. That's what I feel.
I mean, looking at all of you, your body temperatures are all virtually the same.
I haven't experienced anything down here, to be honest with you. I've been down here now for probably around half an hour, 40 minutes. Yeah, I think I'm going to give it up down here. There's been no interaction or no contact made as far as I'm aware. I don't know how the rest of the team are getting on, but I'm probably going to make my way up there now just to see how they're getting on in the other basement with the Ouija board and the other session. It's a bit disappointing, really. I had high hopes, you know, but like I say, we don't bring the spirits with us, and you know, if things are going to happen, they will happen genuinely. We're not going to fabricate anything. So, you know, yes, it is frustrating, but it's just all part and parcel of what we do.
While I was down in the cellar, I caught some footage on my body cam. It appears to be some form of light anomaly, otherwise known as an orb. In my experience, this is probably an insect or dust.
I'll tell you what we do. I'll put on something very calming.
Oh, there we go. A bit of movement. Oh.
Yeah, it just went to my right.
Yeah.
We've often found that when we've had this pulsating, vibrating experience, and it takes a bit of time, but it does actually start to move.
Wow, look at that.
The K2 is going off.
That just went wild.
So
Did it? Yeah.
let me just ask the question. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Are there any?
Can anyone else feel the breeze around our fingers?
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah.
That was a very loud
That
thud.
was. That might be.
Literally my hairs are right static.
Oh,
Look
it's
at-
really cold.
Look at my left arm by my watch.
The reason why I got a nylon board is because of to prevent the pushing and the to and throwing. But I can feel that going now.
It's me taking my shoes off.
She's taking her shoes off.
To put my feet on the ground.
You're not pushing it. So
No, I'm not pushing
that
it.
is being. As the energy was quite flat in the room, one of the mediums suggested that I play some rock and roll music to ramp it up a bit. Just trying to mix it up with. Oh, I know. I've got funeral parlour songs.
That's a good funeral.
That's ironic.
Oh. Maybe like you're moving in a circle. Come on, spirits. That's it. Go on, move your bum check. Move your bum check. Keep
Beginning
moving.
to
Keep
Miracle
moving.
World in London.
Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep Melbourne. K2's going. Come on. We've got loads of energy in here. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. It's very slow. Come on, keep going, keep going. Move the planchette.
I thought it was
Come on,
going to
spill your
suddenly
name.
take off.
Spill your name. That's it, keep going, keep going.
Go
Go on,
on.
keep moving, keep moving.
You're getting there.
Go on, that's it. Go on, go on, go on.
Are you enjoying this music? Is this better for you?
I can't see the lights now. Your arm's in the way. Oh, it's better.
Go on, keep moving, you're doing well.
You're doing great. You like that
That's
music
it, go,
better.
go. That's
You're
it,
doing
that's it.
great.
Go on,
That's
go on,
it.
go on.
Getting some movement now.
You've got brighter or dimmer.
What one?
That light over there.
Go on, keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going,
It's
keep
sliding
going.
now.
Come on, don't give up now. That's it, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Go on, go on, go on.
If you spell your name, we'll stop singing, I promise.
They like the energy.
They
like the energy. It's all energy.
Go on,
That's it,
that's
it's
a
good
great
energy.
move.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
You're doing brilliant.
You are doing really well. Just a bit more energy, a bit more, just a bit more. Go, 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 go.
Keep away from a road.
Come on, come on.
Moving away from the J, I think.
I'm not sure it is a J.
I think
That's
the
it,
J's
keep going,
there.
keep going, keep going, keep going. That's it. Go on, go on.
Yeah.
Well done.
Brilliant. Yeah.
What number are we going to? What letter?
Come on, keep going,
Yeah,
keep
you're
going,
doing
keep
great.
going.
Little bit more.
Woo, come on.
That was the longest
You
pen-up
are
initial.
doing brilliant.
Keep
Now
going,
it's-
keep going.
Now we're rocking. Keep going.
Come on.
Where are we going next?
What is that letter?
Was that meant to be M?
I know.
Oh no, HIJKLM, yeah.
Did we stop on M then?
KM.
Or did you just go past M?
A KM, your initials.
Will, what's Lady Boucher's first name? Is it Mary Boucher?
I just got a really weird smell when you said her name. No one else
Is
got
it
a weird smell?
Is this Mrs. Boucher?
Your breath.
It might be.
I'm joking.
It could be.
The K2.
We're in a Tigera.
I really was
Come on,
joking.
come on. Keep
Is it-
moving.
is
No,
it-
she's giving me it again.
Just wait and see.
When you said
Is this Mrs. Boucher? Is it Mrs. Boucher here?
it's a, it's, I don't know, not particularly nice smell.
There was a Mary Bougier.
Yeah, Mary.
And her father was called John Bougier, and there was something to do with a hanging in Grimston, Yorkshire.
Oh, in Yorkshire.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That bang,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That might
that-
be Dean coming up from the cellar. Again. In the name of the Father, and the Son, of the Holy Ghost. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so I'll turn the planchette over. I'm going to give you that. You take that away from the board.
Thank you.
We decided to end the investigation in the Naseby suite, and what follows just happened to be the most eventful part of the evening.
Did that just say my name?
Yeah, I heard it. It said Will.
It said Will.
I didn't hear Will.
I think you should hold a cake
What
too.
we're doing. I'm going to explain what we're doing. Okay, so obviously you can hear the metronome in the background. Now the metronome, obviously at the moment, is set to, am I right, at 60?
Yeah.
Dean? So it should be going 1, 2, 3, 4, so every per second, okay? So you've got that. Now, what we're hoping to do is we're actually hoping to get that to either physically stop, okay? So while we're doing the call outs and asking for spirit to interact with us, we want to see a reaction. So we will be asking for the metronome to be forcibly stopped, and also this plasma ball has been set. That went off. To sound only, so it should respond to.
Is it the plasma ball that's
I
making
don't know.
it go
Bring
on?
that over here, Dean. No, it's not. At the same time, we're going to be scanning the AM frequencies, and we're going to be doing a calling out session. We're sweeping at 250 milliseconds. Now, what that is, it's basically sweeping in packages. So you have, so every second, you should have 8 radio stations at least in each sweep. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Hazel Williams. Okay, now we are here this evening to try and communicate with you, Spirit. And the only way we can do this and have any validation of your presence is if you can communicate back with us. So I'm gonna get you to say my name and repeat my name if you can hear my voice. So repeat after me. Can you say the name Hazel? Can you please say my name, Hazel?
It sounded like it, not very clearly, but just this is. My name is Will. If you can say my name. Okay, my name is Will.
My name is James. If you can hear me, please repeat my name. My name is James. Repeat James.
Will.
If you can hear me, please repeat my name, James.
If you can hear me, my name is Harry. If you can hear me, my name is Harry. Please repeat it to me.
Hello, Spirit. If you can hear my name is Emily. Can you repeat that back to me, please? Can you say the name Emily?
If you can hear my voice,
My name is Dean. Can you please repeat my name? Dean.
I'm going to ask you to do a couple of tasks. One of them is to make the lights go off on the plasma ball, which is inside the glass dome on the bed. And the way to do this is through sound frequency. Okay? So if I clap, okay, Spirit, can you do that? Can you make the plasma ball go off?
Emily, I don't know about you, whether you knew of anything the mediums said when they were in this room.
They were picking up on somebody that had passed away in this room.
What was it about a hanging?
The hanging was down in room 112.
112.
In the bathroom.
In this room, it was a man with a cane, wasn't it?
It was the man with the cane, and she was picking up on two things. There was something to do with a woman who was really depressed, and I don't think she was having a good time with her husband, and she was picking up feelings of depression. The name John was brought up, and I think Stevenson as well. I think.
Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Jekyll and Hyde. The personality of the man was a little, Jekyll and Hyde sort of personality.
John Thurlow. John Thurlow. I'm calling upon the spirit energy of John Thurlow. Now, can you hear that tick-tock in the background? If you can, I'm going to ask you, can you forcibly stop the metronome in the background? Now I'm going to scan the FM frequency, and we're going to try the same experiment. I need you to say Hazel.
Spirit, I am Will. I'm talking to you now and inviting you to speak my name. My name is Will. Please repeat my name, Will.
That's a 1,335.
What? What hurts?
Yeah.
Spirit, can you please try to speak through the communication device that is before you, or touch the ball that you see? Can you speak my name?
Spirit, my name is James. Can you say my name, James?
Has the metronome slowed down? It's slowed.
It
It stopped. It stopped.
Oh my god, it stopped.
Oh wow.
Hey, the power over here is 1,090.
Really?
And
Hold on.
It's just stopped.
No, I know that stopped, but
Is it timed out with the...
right.
Okay.
I don't know. You can give it a knock.
Yeah. Shall we try and wind it up again and then see if we can get.
Why am I getting this reading over here though? Like, that is beyond.
He was doing that when he first started as well.
Oh, this has gone up. This is going up.
Right,
There's a light flashing on and off. Can you flash the light some more? Play with the lights. Show us that you're here. Come a little bit closer. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Come closer. Come closer. Play with those lights. Those lights tell us that you're in the room with us. Make those lights as bright as you can make them.
Are you right, Em?
No, I'm really not. I just saw someone peeling around the corner from the bathroom. It really made me jump.
What?
Emily began to feel very uncomfortable after witnessing an ominous presence peering from the doorway. And what happened next took me and the cameraman by surprise.
It's only that area, H. That one's...
I've got this going off as well. This is
I've only sitting over there.
It's flickering on and off.
Yeah, I was only sitting over there about a minute ago.
Yeah, you was only
If
sitting
you
over
can
there.
light
I
3
literally
lights
see someone just.
for yes, 1 light. Did you hear that?
That
noise?
That was me
Is that
just
you?
going, oh, like that.
But I heard a cough before that.
Is that you? No.
I heard a cough
There was
from
a
there.
low
I heard a growl.
I heard a growl as well. I'm not. And a bang. I just heard a bang.
Oh god. I think yeah.
Oh.
I heard a cough.
I
Light
literally
3 lights
see someone just.
for yes, 1 light. Did you hear that?
That
cough?
noise?
What the hell? No, look at that TV. It's
TV.
flashing. Saying record.
Record. We are recording, Spirit.
Right. This is
What is this, H?
weird.
Is that what's happening here? Is that like?
I heard something just over there, like someone coming through the
I
doorway.
saw someone peering from the bathroom and.
Look, when I moved to here, are you on the bed? Is that where you are? You're moving? I think
Did you hear it said the bed? It went the bed.
Show us that you're here so that other people will believe. What is your name?
Did that just say people?
He definitely said something, but I didn't catch what he
It
said.
sounded like people.
Find
So,
evidence.
look, let's
Find evidence.
Right, yeah, I heard that. Find evidence.
Changing the light all the way infrared.
But
It's going up. It's going up and down. It's going from bright
But
to
you can
not.
see
I don't know
the-
if he's doing something.
You can
to
see
it.
the field is now 15.
If there's a child here, if you'd like to play with the bear, hug the bear.
Yeah, so we can see the lights changing on the bear,
Yeah. So just
Right,
feel
it's
the
essentially-
bear.
It's essentially bear.
We're looking for proof so that we can show everybody else that you are really here and that you haven't gone away.
Have a listen to this EVP. Is this the voice of a disembodied spirit answering Will's question?
So we can see the lights changing on the bear,
Yeah. So just
Right,
feel
it's
the bear.
essentially bear.
We're looking for proof so that we can show everybody else that you are really here and that you haven't gone away. Wow, okay. Should we check the bathroom? Is there anything
it's
we
in
can
the bathroom.
do
I'm telling you now, that's
in
what I
the
just seen.
bathroom?
Something like that here around.
I tell you, that's been a bit of a night, hasn't it, really? So, you know, me, myself personally, I'm a little bit exhausted. We've found a few things out tonight, been quite interesting. Dean with Kat in
Yeah,
the
the
room,
walk around
you
was
know,
very
that
good,
was
yeah.
pretty cool. I really enjoyed meeting her and having that experience
Yeah.
where, you know, what she picked up on in the room. You gathered some evidence.
Yeah.
Emily, you had your walk around with the girls. And you know, a few things were brought up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you want to summarise anything
Well,
up,
we
you
had
guys.
incidents where we could smell an aftershave, and we actually smelt everyone's aftershave because we thought it might be someone who was walking past us that, you know, we caught waft of their aftershave, but it wasn't. And we retraced our steps, and we smelt the same smell in the same place, but we kept smelling it in random places around the hotel. So if it was something following us,
You do pick up on the senses.
sense.
People smell tobacco. They smell
Perfumes
and things like that.
It's been pretty quiet on my part, really, on my behalf. I went down to the cellar, nothing really much happened apart from getting cobwebs in the back of the neck and not being let out of the cellar. I think they might have done that on purpose, to be honest with you. But no, I think it was
We
quite...
heard the screams.
Well, yeah, I got the nail in the head. But no, it was quite a cool evening, really. Good location. Plenty to cover, but no, it was quite quiet.
There's a lot of ground to
It was
cover.
quite quiet on my part, but yeah, it's quite eventful in here though. I think this is probably the best part of the night, and obviously yeah, with Kat downstairs in 112, validating her experience was quite good. So yeah, altogether satisfied.
I suppose really there's only one thing left to say, and that is it's lights out.
I really did feel like I felt someone sitting at the end of my bed last night. The end of the time last night made things a lot more intense, but all in all, it's a great place to stay.
If you enjoyed this evening's show and you yourself have had any paranormal experiences, then please contact us
on www.spectrumparanormal.co.uk.
That was Beyond Explained, and I hope you enjoyed that programme. If you did enjoy it, please let us know in the comments and share. I can't emphasise enough the awesome prize that you will be entering into a draw for, which is to join Spectrum Paranormal Investigations on Paranormal Investigations. So that's a great opportunity that you can get by sharing or commenting on our Facebook stream. So I know that's been going around, and I've seen some of your comments coming through already. So we're now going to go over to the Cauldron Cocktail Experience, who came down to film them making some of their magical cocktails. Okay, so we're going to hand over to that now. Here we go.
At the Cauldron. Cauldron is a witch and wizard fantasy themed magical cocktail experience based in London, Edinburgh and New York, and today I'm going to be making some potions with you. So the first one we've got going is the Cauldron's very own bubbling shots of death. Now this is in fact an even mix of vodka, Midori, sugar syrup and lemon juice, and a bit of water thrown in there as well for dilution, very important in cocktails. And we basically serve this over some dry ice like so. These are the bubbling shots of death. And not only do these look great, but they taste absolutely delicious as well. They're a really good example of how we at the Cauldron take something ordinary, like a shot, and make it into something fantastic that you've probably never seen before. And the proof is in the pudding as always, so I believe Will is actually going to try one out with me.
Abracadabra. Abracadabra. Delicious, that's really nice, that is.
It's good, huh?
Yeah, it's got a bit of a sour tinge to it, which
Absolutely,
is lovely. Yeah.
Basically, when you arrive at the Cauldron, you'll get kitted out with one of these. And these are our potions boxes. So in each of them you get, a set of instructions, all the equipment, various different vials. And today we're going to make a drink called the Botany Broth.
The Botany Broth?
Botany Broth, that's right. I'm going to fill this up with some hot water. This would normally be Earl Grey tea, but my colleague did not put in any tea bags. So, as I said, you're going to be kitted out with one of these little potion boxes. A potions master will help you out.
I like the bottles, they're very authentic.
Absolutely.
They're great.
We're all about creating an immersive experience, and, every little bit of detail is important.
Fantastic, it goes a long way as well.
Absolutely, yeah. What I'm going to ask you to do first, Will, is I'm going to pass you this pestle and mortar.
Wonderful.
Right. And in there we've got some grapefruit peels, some lemongrass, and some rosemary. You're going to give that a really good crush up for me, alright?
Yeah, okay. So
go on, get in there. Got any parental issues or taking frustration out?
Taking out your anger.
Now's the time.
All the production crew. No, I'm only joking.
Well, it's all about that authentic experience, like we said. So
yeah.
And the other thing about it is it's kind of a multi-sensory experience as well. So now that you've given that a good crush up, you can lift it up to your nose, you can smell it, you can touch it, you can feel it. So what we're actually using here is quite a straightforward London Dry gin.
Okay.
Very juniper led, nothing too complex.
No.
Right, we're going to take that, we're going to add it into our pumpkin. With our Earl Grey tea and our botanicals in there already.
Wonderful.
Shall I do yours? Or do you
yes, yeah. Go
sure,
ahead.
no worries. Excellent. So we're going to pour our crystals into our pumpkin as well. Alright, there we go. And then with our ladle, we can give that a little bit of a stir. So the next step is actually to request fairy dust from your potions master. Thankfully for you, I'm already here. I'm your potions master.
Amazing.
I've got some fairy dust right here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pop this into our drink and continue to give it a good stir.
Oh, that's such a cool effect, isn't it? It's like a fire-breathing pumpkin there.
Well, obviously this is dry ice, and dry ice is not to be messed with. It's serious stuff. So, if you are going to use any dry ice in any of the drinks that you create or anything that you do, make sure you know your stuff, because it's really not to be messed with. If used improperly, it can even cause death. So that's the kind of Halloween that you don't want.
Yeah, no. So don't want any death potions.
Absolutely,
really.
yeah. So we've got the Earl Grey tea in there, we've got the botanicals, we've got our gin, we've got our sugar. And as we continue to stir it down, it's going from quite a high temperature to a much lower temperature. And the temperature change is what's going to encourage the infusion between the flavours. So you're going to get a lot more flavour in there when you change the temperature. The next step is to add some of this. So we like to make sure that things are as tactile as possible, and give our customers kind of different experiences. So we've done pestle and mortar, raw botanical ingredients. We've done the vials. We're now going to do droppers, and this is a very, very concentrated solution of bitters. All right, so we're going to do 6 drops of these.
6 drops. Would you like in the ladle?
Can do.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very good.
I'll be able to do bake-off after all this.
And last of all, we're going to have our bladderwort nectar as well.
So what is that first?
Good question. Yeah. Good question. This is just creme de pêche mixed with some chamomile tea. It's going to give us
lots of teas.
Lots of teas.
Quite fragrant smells as well.
Absolutely.
So there we go.
Cheers. Get some of them in there as well.
Perfect.
Excellent stuff. I'm going to take 1 full ladle and we're going to pop it into the base of our shaker.
There we go. That's a more familiar looking piece of equipment there.
Yeah. So normally in the cauldron, if you were a customer, you would get your own jars and stuff, so you get to shake it yourself. Lovely. However, today I'm here with my arms in the flesh, so I'll shake it for you instead.
You're going to show us off your cocktail shaking skills.
Yeah, I'll do a bit of that.
A bit like Tom Cruise in the film Cocktail.
And then give it a shake up.
The real rhythm to that, isn't there?
Yeah. And the trick is, when most people are shaking, tense up the shoulders and really go for it.
Like that.
There's no reason. You should never be able to. No. You should never be able to not talk whilst you're shaking.
Oh wow. That's really nice. There's a lovely flavour to that.
And this is the magical gin and tonic that we've been launching. It comes with a glass that is engraved with your own personalised message.
Cool.
So we're able to engrave the glass.
So it makes quite a nice gift as well. So if somebody's into, all things kind of magic, or just is looking to experience something different, especially gin connoisseurs or anybody like that.
It's all there to make what you need. We've got dehydrated fruits and garnishes and a little scroll for instructions. Everything you need is there. So what we've got in here basically is a little tea bag filled with what's called butterfly pea flower tea.
Yeah.
Now this is a flower that I believe is native to kind of Central Asia. It's very, very high in antioxidants, so it's pretty good for you. And most importantly, it's a pH indicator. So what we're going to make here is the dragon's breath. Now this is one of the most recognisable drinks when you come to the cauldron. It is quite simple in essence. It's a twist on a strawberry daiquiri. And that being the case, what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead with our strawberry syrup. We're going to add about 40 ml of this. This is very, very simple to make yourself at home. Basically, what you need to do is boil down a bunch of strawberries in some water until they lose most of their colour, and then add exactly the same amount of sugar as you've got water in there. Strawberry syrup, looking good. So we've got about 40 ml of our strawberry syrup in there. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to take some freshly squeezed lime juice, about 25 ml of that into there. and lastly our clear white rum. And we're going to do a double shot of that, so about 50 mils. Pour that in there, and that's really all there is to it to start with. So after that, ice, give it a good shake. So once we've shaken that up real good, we're going to take our strainers, double strain it so that you haven't got any ice lumps in there. And that's a pretty straightforward strawberry daiquiri. This is how it's looking right now. What we're going to do next, however, is we're going to take a small amount of very, very high proof Jamaican rum. Now, this rum is about 63% ABV, and we're just going to float it on top there. So the way I'm doing this is I'm pouring it onto a spoon and then pouring it onto the surface of the drink. Because this alcohol is very high in alcohol percentage, it's going to float on top of your drink. And that's a very important detail for what we're going to do next. So we've got our high ABV rum on the top there, and I would not advise trying this at home. This is something that we do at the Cauldron. Really don't give this a go. Just enjoy your strawberry daiquiris the normal way, but if you want to see something special, come join us at the Cauldron for this instead. So our dragon's breath is now on fire. We're going to take a little pinch of cinnamon.
I hope you enjoyed that bit of cocktail making there. Please do check out the Cauldron cocktail making experience. It's a fantastic thing for anybody who's into their wizards, witches, magicians and all that sort of thing. I have been told I can't reference a certain HP, otherwise it might infringe some copyright stuff there. You may be noticing that I'm actually wearing some sort of mask here, something that we're very used to wearing nowadays, really. And if I get a little bit closer, you'll see the bit pumpkins and things that are on there. And this mask was actually designed and made by the Sunshine Sewers, who have been heroes in the local area of Stevenage during the COVID period, you know, making these masks for our NHS workers on the front line, and they've just been doing a fantastic job. So if you follow them on Facebook, you can actually order your own masks, and they come in all sorts of variations and I was going to say sizes, but one size fits all, I suppose. And we're now going to go over to our next challenge, which is called the Sick Sense. Now, these masks are going to be used in a slightly different way now, in terms of a blindfold, because Slava and Trev have been blindfolded, and so I'll hand over to Josh for the first part of the challenge.
Hello, as you can see, they have placed these blindfolds across their face because they finally realised just how ugly I am. And actually, go for this challenge, and we're going to go over the first easier one. We're going to be nice, and then I don't know if you can see to the left and right of me, I have 2 red tubs, and there's one behind me here. They have some certain things in them, and I'm going to ask these 2 to be putting their hands in. And yep, uh-oh is exactly correct, Slava. And yes. They're going to be guessing exactly what they are. I'll be telling you after, you know, they've either guessed it correctly or given up. Probably the latter, to be fair. Anyway, so the first challenge, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give... Well, we'll go with Trev first, shall we? Trev, hold out your hand. It's not something gross this time, don't worry. This is a bowl of roll and toilet roll. Now, what you're going to do...
Got that one right.
these things are going to be like gold discs, by the way, so try and get them when you can. But what you're going to do with that roll of toilet roll that suddenly just disappeared, don't know where it's gone, magic. You are now going to try and mummify Slava as fast as possible on my count. And then when it's done, Slava's going to do the same after. I'm going to time whoever wins is the fastest. So on my count, on 3, 2, 1, go. I'm going to do from head to shoulders, possibly. Try to start my head here, if that's alright.
Hang on, I think I've got what the goals
Oh, he's got the toilet roll immediately. Hang on. Hold it around, I've got another one. You got it?
Yeah.
Oh, again.
I'm fighting with this skeleton again.
Again. You say fighting, it's more like it's very one-sided.
It's cheap toilet roll, it keeps ripping.
Ooh, that's a production cost, Will. What have you done? Didn't splash out a bit of Durex.
How far have we got to go?
Dulux, that's it. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong brand. Of course, go past the shoulders. That's the wrong brand, isn't it? But it's like that way. What am I like? Anyway, we're almost. No! Keep going. I'd say you can get just a bit over, so keep going. This is exhilarating. I am on the edge of my seat. Honestly, my heart could not be racing faster right now. And obviously, as you can see, these two are from the same household, so just letting you know. We're almost there. This is intense.
It's alright. Yeah, I need more toilet roll for this.
That's a rather inappropriate comment. I do apologise. Once again, they are children. Anyway, I reckon, should we say that'll do? Is that enough? Do we think that's enough? Okay, so in a record time of 1 minute and 20 seconds, Slava has been mummified. So if you now know to take the toilet roll off, you are now going to be the mummifyee. Mummifyee? Mummy? Oh, mummy, I guess. I think Will came up with a brilliant name for this segment. This is called Are You My Mummy? Shout out to the Empty Children, I think, from the Doctor Who. They were terrifying. Okay, so hold up your hands, Slava. There is your gold dust.
Where do I start? From the top of the head?
Wherever you want to start from, all you've got to do, is get down to the elbow, same length that Trev did.
Okay.
On my count, on 3, 2, 1, go.
What's it, because it tears?
Oh,
you're like that.
Straight out the gate. I suppose you've got the hair to worry about, that's something.
He's got a bigger nose than me, though.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a deal breaker.
Actually, that is not true.
This is, I can't believe how intense this is, to be honest with you. This is mental. This is just a preliminary, getting used to the blindfolds and then hell in this game. As you can tell, I'm enjoying this a lot. They are hating this. Slava is absolutely flying through this, to be honest. Am I talking too much? I think I might be.
Oh, I keep getting caught by this fancy. How far do I have to go?
A little bit more. Almost there.
Right.
Oh, she's picked up the pace. This is crazy. Oh, are we there? It seems that this dropping of the toilet roll might have cost Trev because that looks like.
Have I done it?
Do you reckon that looks like the same? I reckon it's about the same if you want to stop. So an extra. The person who obviously, I'm going to try words again, possibly in English. Slava managed to get it in 56 seconds, or 34 seconds faster. 24 seconds, maths. Well done. Now, I would like one of you guys to choose a number between 1 and 3, not between 1, 2 or 3.
Ladies first.
3.
3? Okay. Well, if you would like to now, I'm just going to move this red abhorrent tub. Shall I show it to the camera? If I don't want to tip it out. Can you see that? That is awful, isn't it? Right, so, if you're now like, it's in between both of you, if you can feel the red tub. You got it? Cool. Now, you have, well, however much time you need to tell me what is exactly inside that. Trevor's straight in. Slava a little bit resilient, but.
Spaghetti or something? Is it spaghetti bolognese?
Not quite. Well, I guess for some things. Trevor's really, really trying hard to identify what that is.
That feels like spaghetti.
You're half correct.
Spaghetti.
You've got that right, and something else.
Yeah, sort of bolognese sauce.
Nope, not quite bolognese sauce. If you use this as bolognese sauce, I am calling the police.
I'll probably smell
I wouldn't try that for you. That's exactly correct. That is
I'm third party. I have no sense of smell.
Spaghetti, it wasn't a sense of smell that guided her, it was her sense of taste.
Yeah,
Oh, she did say she was hungry.
There we go, that's for you. Okay, so we'll move on to number 2, so that's 1 point to Slav.
You'll have to let her out now.
Okay, the tub is now in between the both of you when you are both ready.
Yeah.
Oh, littering are we?
Right, are we going again?
Go ahead.
That smells like cat litter to me.
You are not wrong. Not wrong, not correct.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I know. I'm teasing you there. This is intense. I'm trying to figure out what the thought process is right now.
No idea.
Apparently nothing.
What's that?
Go ahead.
This is unfair. I can't smell.
For context, Trev does not have a sense of smell. So it's more.
It's some kind of pellet. Is it
what?
It smells like the stuff they put in like rabbit cages and stuff like that. You know, those sort of pellety things.
If you're putting this in rabbit cages, this is an issue for the RSPCA.
Is it dangerous to taste it? No, I'm not going to do it.
I mean,
it's sort of.
Certain things do taste them. I suppose on a.
It smells really familiar. It's something we've got in the house or something we use.
How often do you use this?
Oh no, there's something like that.
It crashes.
Oh,
it's crushed.
Well, that's.
It smells like some kind of bird food.
You're getting close.
Because it smells like the bird food in the
Like mealworms?
There we go. That straight away. Well, I say straight away on the first guess of the food. That was mealworms for you guys.
Oh, I helped you with that.
I did apologise, they're a little bit solidified for you guys, but just to verify, yes, that is an entire tray of mealworms. I almost tipped them on the floor then. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Trev, what are we doing?
Yeah, I know.
Right, now this one.
I crushed it.
This one, I must admit, I am despising currently. Even holding this tray in my hand is awful. Has everyone seen that? Yeah, that is correct. That is an exact reaction from Ray. I don't know if you heard that. That's like, ugh.
That's a reaction you get from most things you show.
Are we ready? You got the tray ready?
Ready? Are we going?
On my count, this is the tiebreaker. 3, 2, 1, go.
This stinks.
Ooh, that is an interesting. Oh no! Oh, he's just snapped one. Oh dear. It's all gone wrong.
It's gone wrong because he snapped it.
Yeah, it's definitely very wrong. Not quite.
Country pancake?
Oh dear. I'd say one of the other items are actually related to this. Sprouts? Sprats.
As a fish.
Oh, well, some type of fish.
Yeah, it smells fishy.
And it's just got, I felt when it got like a tail, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Well, you know, there's another thing at the
I'll give you guys a couple more guesses and then we'll reveal.
I don't like
herrings.
Nope.
Herrings. So what are the little tiny
dried,
ones?
but it's dried.
Yeah, well, they do dry, don't they?
Do they?
Sprats they do as well. Surely.
I don't know. I don't like fish. I don't know.
Okay, I think we'll call it there. I think Trevor's gotten closest. That was sardines.
Oh, sardines. Yeah, I love sardines on toast.
Oh, sardines on toast. You snapped a fish, by the way. Just letting you know. You can take your blindfolds off now, so you can verify the tubs. Lovely. Truly great stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to offer a huge congratulations from SG1 Radio because Trev has actually won our yearly contest. I hope to see you guys next year where we'll probably find some even worse stuff, and I'm really excited for that. So, you know, next up you've got a lovely chat and explanation of what Spectrum really is, what the whole story is behind it. So back to you, Will.
Thanks, Josh. That was quite a funny challenge to watch, wasn't it, guys? Yeah, we were still kind of cringing over them putting their hands, especially when Trev decided to taste it, but I suppose without a sense of smell, that's what you'd have to do, really. Bear Grylls in the making there.
I'm a bit worried about Slava and the cat food.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't taste it, I just smelled it.
Well, you That's dinner sorted, Trev. So I am joined on the sofa now. Back again, it's the team from Spectrum Paranormal Investigations, Hazel, Emily and Dean. Thanks again for being here this evening. And we've seen the show now. It's out there for people to watch. If you did miss it, then you can always go back and we'll stream it again as a whole piece. But so tell us, Spectrum, where did it all begin 26 years ago?
Oh, here we go.
Keep it short.
Yes, I know. Okay. And Alex will understand this. My involvement in getting involved into the paranormal, like everyone, you have a story that goes along with this, and mine started with a spate of dreams, and they were precognitive dreams, and they were ones that had a large impact on on the global platform, shall I say. And they included assassinations of famous people. I won't say names, but
so it starts with this kind of this story begins with you kind of questioning something that was
happening to me paranormally. And because it wasn't normal to have these dreams and then to witness the events taking place in great detail in relation to the dream that I'd had. So and there was one in particular that was the catalyst, shall I say, that compelled me to form the team and to go on this life quest, because I needed answers. I needed to know what was out there, what was beyond there. Why was I seeing all these visions, and why was I having these dreams when I had no place in the world to really do anything about it? And I was like, what?
It's such a niche as well, isn't it? Being a paranormal investigations team, it's especially when you're an institute set up, for research. You've investigated locations as a team across the nation now, and you've been to some pretty interesting places. So to tell us, I don't know whether maybe Dean could tell us about some of the obviously from a sceptical point of view. Have you found anything that has really compelled you in any of the locations that you've been to so far?
Yeah, I think the Spaniards Inn in Hampstead was fantastic. When we first did the investigations there, obviously Hazel was doing them before I came along, but my first investigations there, the first 2 or 3 were fantastic. We always got something there. There was a place where you went there, you set up the cameras, you'd be guaranteed to walk out of there.
Absolutely.
No matter what, you'd always get some form of evidence. You'd never be disappointed. And after the years, you just sort of slow down. And like most places that are haunted, they get so many visitors, they get used quite a lot by paranormal teams and ghost hunters, and to me it's like, if there were ghosts, would they want to be pestered all the time by people coming in and asking them, are you here, are you there, can you do this, can you do that, like a circus show. But that's why I wanted to go to places that maybe are a bit more
clock watching.
When are they going to leave my house? But it's just it's just for us. But like for us, it's just more like trying to find these obscure locations. But we've had some fantastic experiences on Ouija boards, on EVPs. We've seen orbs, all the things that you can sort of picture. The only thing we haven't seen is a full manifestation of a ghost, and this is what the quest is for us, is to get that hardcore evidence.
Proof, wouldn't it?
That would be the proof.
And I would just like to say one thing quickly, just what Dean said on orbs. When people, because obviously there's so many things online about orbs. Right, now obviously we only look for ones that are intelligent enough to respond to your questioning. So if I said, can you come in from the left, and it moves across the screen, and if I said stop, I'd want it to stop.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to just see a bit of dust or flash go past.
And we saw in the programme as well that we did manage to capture a potential orb which sort of seemed to respond to something that I said.
Was that your body cam?
It was a light anomaly, yeah. I mean, because the reason why it tied in, which I felt, it was good that you put it in there, is because the line of questioning, it was that the people were feeling there was something over in the bathroom, and the orb actually manifested from the bathroom and came out towards the room. So it came from the bathroom through the hallway towards my camera. Because we were experiencing so many things. Over there, I pointed my body camera there, and as you obviously it said, I think I'm here or something like that. An EVP. And there's a lot of activity in that corner of the room where the bathroom was. I pointed my camera, and there was an orb.
Emily,
she was.
You saw a manifestation or something, didn't you? Peering round the bathroom.
I believed, again, it could be shadows because of the people in the room, but I believed that I saw someone peeking around from the bathroom. And it really made me jump. I know I've done investigating, but I still, things still do make me jump, and I didn't like it, and I left it. I am sorry.
But then we caught something, quite interesting, really. That a few of us did sort of look at each other and hear in the room, but for it to be caught on camera is really quite something.
Yeah, and I'd like to make a statement here because I never actually heard. Or see anything at all, and because I believe people have, it's like people. Some are deaf, slightly deaf, profoundly deaf, and then they're deaf, and this is the same way with picking up information when you're out field researching, whether or not everyone is in tune to that frequency and vibration at that time. Whether or not you can actually sense something. That's why you get doubters and believers, because some people can't always tune in to, the environment and pick up on what's going on.
Well, that's the thing, and I'm not even as sensitive, but I heard it, and the cameraman heard it, and we were like, did anyone else hear that growl? So I don't think to be as sensitive. I just actually heard it with my ears, and I mean, lucky enough, we happened to catch it on camera.
Oh, when you played it back to me, I was like,
I didn't realise it was like that.
Bearing in mind that whole part of the hotel was booked out for us, and even Ray, who was the executive producer there with us, he'd gone home at that point. We were filming on our own in that room. And another piece of evidence, he was hiding behind the door.
We thought we went, I'm going home.
Something else that happened was, now we go back to Harry Price, the kind of days where they use a metronome. Now we set one of these, and something that still gets me thinking about it is when that metronome stopped, and. It was conveniently at the same moment where your reader, was it the EMF reader, was going off the scale. So there was kind of interference with the electromagnetic field and the infrared as well, because we saw that in the
and
TV.
The TV was flashing as well, wasn't it?
The TV just started to do its own thing.
Well, it seems like that was the first time we'd ever used a plasma ball on an investigation.
Yeah,
it seemed like,
and a metronome.
Yeah, and the metronome. So it was two new experiences for us as well, and I think it was quite a successful experiment. I think the plasma ball going forward, it produced so much electromagnetic energy that I think it could actually be a conductor for spirit. I really do think that really did heighten the room up.
Pinnacle where
because we switched it over and the energy really did change in the room and it really was charged.
That was my thinking. I know it's a novelty. I know it's like people have it in their homes and they're just probably they might think what a load of old tosh. But the thing is, look, I'll tell you now, even a pencil and a bit of paper can become a powerful paranormal piece of equipment. Just by leaving it on the side and asking spirit to write something, go away, come back, and you see.
There we go. If you're trying to do something at home, just put a pencil on a bit of paper tonight, guys, and call out to spirit.
Exactly, saves you loads of money.
I just want to pick up on Emily because all three of you stayed the night in the hotel, and you had quite a nice stay, didn't you? Anyway, the staff were great, the rooms lovely, comfortable.
I was gone.
Yeah, but interestingly, Emily actually stayed in room 112. Now, Dean, do you want to tell us the story behind room 112? And you were in there in the programme with Kat as well, weren't you?
Yeah, so obviously early in the evening, I went around the cameraman just doing a sweep, and obviously that's where the EMF sort of had a mind of its own at some stage. You know, at the end of the bed, at a particular point, it kept on going off at that particular point. So obviously we got Kath in to validate and say, look, I didn't want to know anything about it. I just want to know where you see this figure. She obviously told the story. She went, I see it here, right at the end of the bed.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same place as Kat had her experience. So for me, that was fantastic, and I could see it in Kat's eyes where she felt it was great to have her.
Cat's eyes, isn't it?
Yeah, Cat's eyes. There's a lot of cat things here tonight.
Can I just say as well that the look of fear on Kat's face was quite comical.
Yeah, it was. You could see her eyes glow, but I think because obviously she really thought that it must have been maybe a genuine experience, and she weren't going crazy. She actually may have seen something there, and the energy around that was fantastic. And I think then Emily didn't know nothing about that.
No.
Obviously, we told her sort of before she went into bed. I said, you know, that's where Kat seeing lady seeing the end of her bed.
Well, that's it. And Emily. And you, so we get that little bit at the end of the episode, your little video diary.
Yeah.
You felt something that night, didn't you? What was it that you felt?
Well, it actually felt like somebody had sat at the end of my bed. So I know obviously I was on my own, but I felt the indentation. I could feel it, and I could sense someone sitting at the end of the bed. Only momentarily. It wasn't there for ages, but I did feel it.
And it's interesting, this kind of thing with the sensations that you feel. When we were down in the cellar and you were doing the Ouija board, I remember, I don't know if it was in the episode, but I sort of commented to you, Hazel, didn't I, about this sensation of somebody holding my hand.
That's right, yeah.
And then when we're in the room and we get that EVP of I'm here, and what sounds to be a child's voice, it seemed that there was some kind of child's energy.
The thing is, because you know, you have you're full of energy. You are. You're full of beans and
full of cheese.
We're full of cheese.
Cheesy beans.
Cheesy beans.
I could be one of those bakes that you get in Greggs.
Cheesy beans. Oh my lord, that's a good one. Mini baby bell. You are though. I mean, you're very childlike. And of course, no, but you would attract that type of energy.
Yeah.
Because you come across so loving and so caring that if I was a child spirit and I see you in a room full of people playing rock and roll music and going, and I just see you going, I'll come to you, so I'll go.
And that's a paranormal first, really, isn't it? I've never, and people who I've spoken to as well, I've never seen a Ouija board done with rock and roll music.
No,
so
that's great.
I think that's, and I saw a comment
Hopefully
earlier.
Set a new trend.
Yeah,
thanks Alex with that suggestion.
Somebody commented spooky karaoke, and I think we'll try and get in future episodes, try and get the spirit to sing along to Thriller or something.
Do you know what? It's a good point, because it's all about energy.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be so, like ghost hunting shouldn't, in my opinion, it shouldn't be like this sort of like morbid sort of all that sort of stuff. It needs to be. It's about energy and vibrations, and
it's a bit like that song, isn't it, by the Beach Boys? Good vibrations.
Exactly. True. But just raising.
And I think it's important that if you're going on a paranormal investigation, or you do have an interest in ghost hunting, if you do decide to go out and do it, make sure whoever you're with is a positive person and not negative, because at the end of the day, negative attracts negative.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for positive energies and you're looking for something to happen, why would a spirit use energy to produce anything for someone around a negative energy or negative vibe? So stay positive, and if you're going to do the research and do the time, then just be positive. And
one bit of advice I would give anyone is to make sure that you avoid anything like narcotics, alcohol, or anything like that, when you're going to dabble or deal with anything of this nature,
it's very serious.
You need to be clear of mind. You need to be yourself in a good place, feel happy and full of energy, and. So you bring that with you. You bring that positivity with you.
That's key.
It really is, and
yeah, I agree with you, because if you go with a negative mindset, then you're either not going to pick anything up, or you'll get something negative. Get my teeth. Negative come back to you.
Yes, and Emily, you're a very positive person. You're a family person. You've got a great big family that love you to pieces, and so hello, and I think that you each bring something to the table, which is positive, and you don't. I want to get this clear that a paranormal investigation program doesn't have to be spooky and dark and suddenly a ghost appears at the front of the camera.
We're in the wrong place there.
I think what we should do, we'll have a little think about a closing statement from each of you. I'd like to show the camera properly this time the photograph that I tried showing earlier on. This was the picture from Hazel's reading, and the description that Alexandra actually got pretty much spot on, ladies and gentlemen. So
yes, this is my beautiful, lovely Nanny Edwards.
Yes, so we'll go over to camera 2.
The short hair looks very similar.
There we go, camera 2, thank you.
Camera 2.
Okay, there you go. You see that? So there is a similarity there to Hazel and the description wearing a coat, okay? I'll pop that back there. So let's just close up now, guys, with a bit of a. We have got a final performance from the band Francis on the way, which is going to play us out. But just to close tonight's show up and wish everybody a happy Halloween at home. Let's go round, starting with you, Dean, and working our way towards Emily to wrap things up.
Okay, great. So yeah, essentially, we've been on the road for a very long time, done a lot of investigations, put a lot of work in. Obviously, we do this as well as leading our own lives, working, looking after people. So we do invest a lot of time into what we do here, and we only want to see real, hardcore evidence. And with Beyond Explained, and the way we're going to go with it is, if nothing happens, nothing happens. But essentially, when it does happen, it will be genuine, and that's what we want to create for the paranormal audience. And Ghost Hunter, I think, has lost a lot of credibility, so I think we're trying to bring that credibility back by just being ourselves. There'll be a lot of comedy, there'll be a lot of jokes along the way, family tiffs, and Emily bonding us together. But yeah, I think going forward, I'm really looking forward to investigating some fantastic locations. Some fantastic locations. So cool. And just having a real blast with you guys.
Yeah,
that's what I want to get.
I think there's some great words there. And Hazel?
Well, I mean, what was it you said?
she concurs.
She concurs. No, I mean, I'm grateful for this opportunity. I really am. It's been a long time in the making for us to get our message out there. And I believe in fate and destiny. It's fate and destiny that we've all met.
Yeah.
And this journey's begun. And I'm hoping that before I leave the earth myself, I leave at least one footprint on that earth. And the thing is, along the way, we may be able to find that bridge between life and the afterlife, but also at the same time we'll probably open up a few gates to heaven and probably a few gates to hell.
You wanted to get that in, didn't you? I spoke to Hazel on the phone earlier, and she said she wants to get that phrase in there. Knew she would. We'll have to change the name to the Cheese Hazel. Okay.
But yeah,
I think
I'm
that's
grateful for what you guys have done.
You're very welcome.
Putting this all together.
You've been wonderful. You all have, and Emily as well. You're really shining out as a you know.
Pumpkin.
Excuse me.
There's enough limelight.
Yeah.
Take it.
Limelight's on Emily now, please, Hazel. Emily is really, you know, this has been a real experience, I think, for Emily. You know, Emily's not done any presenting in her life.
Never.
And I think you've done wonderfully, and you led that medium walk around really well. So I don't know if you'd like to finish us off with one last word.
Don't really know what to say apart from thank you for the opportunity. It's been really nice. I hope I come across okay, but everything you see is genuine. As Dean said, we don't fake anything. What you see is what happens. And if you're thinking of investigating, go for it. Just be careful.
Yeah, I think that's a lovely.
Respectful.
Yeah, careful and respectful.
Yeah,
that's very important. And I think as well, you know, if anyone out there wants to join Spectrum Paranormal Investigations for a once in an afterlife time. Once in a long moon. It is a blue moon, isn't it? Yeah. So for a once in a blue moon opportunity to join them on a private paranormal investigation, then I think you should definitely share the stream this evening, guys, and post in the comments. We will get in touch with the winner, and once all of this lockdown mumbo jumbo's out of the way, we'll get that sorted out for you. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and we're going to finish off now with a song called Fire in Us by Francis, the opening the gates of hell. Here we go. There's fire in us.
Scratching at the darkness, feeling walls to find my home, being told what I've forgotten, but knowing exactly what I've done. You're almost still next to me. I'm breathing out what you're breathing in. I don't know how I got here, but I know exactly where I've been. Target still unknown. Who's real? Scares me to the bone. Look closely, and you see there's a fire in us. If, like me, you believe there's a fire in us. If you leave 'cause you feel there's a fire in us, then you're bound to be, bound to be, bound to be free. Cloak and dagger stories were all you said I knew. Now you're reminding me who I am. Well, I try and guess through you. I said something special, you said something true. I still don't quite remember just what I put you through. Look closely and you see there's a fire in us. If, like me, you believe there's a fire in us. If you leave 'cause you feel there's a fire in us, then you're bound to be, bound to be, bound to be free. you believe there's a fire in us. If you leave 'cause you feel there's a fire in us. Look closely and you see there's a fire in us. If like me you believe there's a fire in us. If you leave 'cause you feel there's a fire in us, yeah, then you're born to be, born to be, born to be.